All right. Good afternoon, guys. So, setting up for day 2 of OSUT. Waiting on the guys to finish getting loaded in here. Hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday afternoon. Need a medic today? Yogi, I always need a medic. And you guys may not have seen our cool new rank patches on the uniforms. Now we just need rank patches for our covers. We'll be good to go. So today is day 2. Gonna be going over fire maneuver, patrolling, stuff like that. Generally a pretty long day. Luckily we already knocked out formations yesterday, so we don't have that to go over, but a lot of other information to throw at these guys today. Yogi, that's entirely up to you. Hey, weapon. Looks like day 2 is fully loaded. Oh, I am living the dream.
Here, I'll load it in per second.
Roger. Alright, we got everybody here. So, today we are going to, as I told you yesterday, going to be throwing quite a bit of information at you. Now, yesterday we taught you guys how to shoot and communicate. Two of the 5 important traits to have as an infantry trooper. Alright. We're going to be able to teach you guys how to shoot, move, communicate, survive, and sustain. Yesterday we taught you how to shoot and communicate. Today we're going to teach you how to move and survive. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, as per usual, let's go over a little bit of lecturing. I'm going to throw some information at you guys. Again, highly recommend you take notes. And we're going to head out to the field, do some demonstration, and then you guys are going to practice it yourselves, both dry and live fire. So you guys are going to be putting rounds down range today. That being said, you're also going to have rounds coming back. So you guys are going to be engaged by enemy forces today. So do be prepared for that. Everything is going to be done out in the field today. We are not heading into the classroom. So we're going to head directly from here over to the supply sergeant, get you guys geared up, and then we're going to head out to the field and begin going over the lecture. All right, does anybody have any questions before we get started?
Go for sergeant.
Go for sergeant.
Outstanding. Follow me. Hey, Dova. And hello, Cream. Oh, I am doing great, Dova. Another awesome Sunday afternoon. Get OSUT done today, and then we got Task Force Alpha's FTX tonight. It's our first FTX of after the deployment, so looking forward to it. It appears we have a lost fucking duckling. Dasco, I don't remember telling you to remove your cover. Sergeant Kulov, any idea what's going on with our lost sheep?
Unknown. He didn't say anything. Never responded. Kind of disappeared.
Roger. Alright. You guys go ahead and take a knee. Close it in, not the butt. Alright. As we were talking about yesterday, this is kind of your guys' PCC formation. Alright, so what you guys are going to do is I'm going to assign you guys roles. These are going to be your roles throughout the rest of your days here at OSUT. That being said, once I release you, you're going to head in there, get geared up, come back out here, and fall back into this formation. Then you're going to go through your PCCs. Pre-combat checks are going to consist of this. You're going to do your radio checks. You're going to make sure you all have your earplugs. You all got your iPro on. Then the team leader is going to decide who the battle buddies are. And then he's going to decide who the 2IC is, the second in command. That's the person who takes over the team should the team leader go down. Alright, is everybody tracking?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Alright. Tasco, since you're up front, you're the team leader. Lantier, you're the grenadier. Or sorry, you're the automatic rifleman. Fisher, you're the grenadier. Alright. Everybody understand the roles they were just given?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright. Just like yesterday, Sergeant Smith is going to take you in there to see the supply sergeant and get you guys geared up. Sergeant Smith, go ahead and take him in.
Alright, you're gonna turn around actually.
CG, it's all good.
Top, will we need,
But yes, there's always missions on Wednesdays. Say again?
will we need a medic today?
It's already taken care of.
Affirm.
The FTX tonight is at normal operation time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Specialist Stratman was wondering, do we need any extra guns or anything?
Not at this time, no.
Affirm.
And hello, Dunn.
Smith. Where do I get a radio? From these boxes to the right and a vector? Okay. I'll wait till he's out.
My Zeus today? No, I am Task Force Commander tonight. I will be Zeusing for Charlie, and then Drum is going to be Zeusing for Bravo. And for those of you guys watching right now, and I'll go over it again later this evening before the actual FTX starts, but FTXs work very differently from actual operations for us. You know, it's a training exercise. So as you guys can guess, it's all about training. So it's not necessarily that it's not as serious. It's actually oftentimes more serious. It's just, it's laid out very differently. You know, it's not a big surprise for us to like stop in the middle of things and debrief on something to make sure guys understand what we're doing right and wrong and stuff like that. Also at the very start, like we don't just start going right away. We'll do what's known as a sand table exercise where we kind of explain and demonstrate how to do things properly that we're training on that night, and then we'll go out and actually do it. Did he get held back or raid? No, that is Tosco's brother. That's not the normal Tosco that you guys know.
Okay, thank you.
Alpha mission accomplished. Nanobread is one of my favorites.
See formations right here.
Yeah, FTX starts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Alright, go right there then. Go ahead, Neil. We'll wait for the first session to get back.
Sergeant Smith, I think you might be on Whisper.
You are right.
Yeah, it was a
Tosco,
little
condition
quiet.
that fucking weapon. Thank you. I didn't tell you to sling it, I just told you to condition it.
Make
Yes,
sure
sir,
your
Sergeant.
magazines are out of your rifle, and then you make sure you're on safe. And don't flag your partner.
Private Tosco, are you aware that I trained your brother?
Yes, I am.
So would you prefer I bust your balls or his balls for the fact that you're wearing two pairs of goggles right now?
You can bust his balls, sir.
Roger, I'm gonna bust yours anyways, because only pussies want to blame someone else. Get in there and fix your fucking helmet. You don't need two pairs of goggles. You don't need that much protection.
Order the first sergeant for your instruction.
Sergeant Smith, go ahead and get Lost Sheep in there set up as a rifleman.
Yes, First Sergeant. Alright, when Private Tosco is finished, you're gonna come in here and grab yourself a rifleman loadout. Then you're gonna get yourself a radio and a
Yeah, now there's two Toscos.
in the box to the left of that, okay? Yes, Sergeant.
He's a Tosco. He ain't going in that fucking deep.
Alright, go ahead.
No money. I was a contractor. Yeah, CG, that was pretty much the reaction from all of us.
File.
Well, they dropped the same distance from the tree because they hit the same fucking branches on the way down. Alright, gentlemen. Eventually, you're going to get this right, Tosco. I have yet to see any U.S. Army personnel walk around with glasses that have a goddamn special LCD screen in front of one of their eyes, especially their fucking eye that they aim down their sight with. Go back in there and unfuck it.
Grab another helmet is what he's saying. Don't get any ESS or goggles. Get the regular helmet.
Yeah, like Caldwell said there, Doe, team lead in the front. But again, that's also, like we were talking about yesterday, very fluid. If your best point man is the AR, then you put the fucking AR up front. Alright. Any of you have a guess as to the thing that will get you killed the quickest when you are out on patrol?
A bullet, Staff Sergeant. First Sergeant.
Tosco thinks it's a bullet. Any other guesses?
Not watching your sectors for a second.
Not watching your sectors. Any other guesses? Quickest thing that will get you killed is not paying attention to fucking detail. So when I tell you to go in and change your helmet and you grab a different pair of fucking glasses, it's going to get you killed, Ricky goddamn tick, when you cannot understand the simple difference between a helmet and a set of goggles on your fucking face. So understand when I tell you those small details will get you killed quicker than any fucking bullet, any unwatched sector. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
When we tell you to do something, you do exactly what we tell you to do, how we tell you to fucking do it. No difference, no variation. Now, as I said, you guys are going to do your PCCs. Now, since you're the only team in here, you are going to go by Alpha. You are simply going to be referred to as Alpha. Now, a team leader, your name on the radio is now Alpha. That is it. You don't have a fucking name anymore. You are only known as Alpha. The rest of you are going to use your regular names. Now, your fire team net, or your fire team frequency, is going to be 100.1. Your squad net is going to be 100. That is going to be your additional net. Fire team leaders are the only ones who listen to that additional net. Just because you guys know how to set up an additional net does not mean you get to fucking listen to it. So the team leader is going to set up his primary net as 100.1, his additional net as 100. The rest of you will have your primary net and only net as 100.1. Should the team lead go down, then his 2IC, who will be selected in a moment, will then quickly open up the radio, set up 100, and let the squad leader, or from here on out referred to as actual, know that the team lead is down. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
So, once you guys do your radio checks on your team net, it is then responsible for the team leader to do a radio check on squad net. So you will need to do a radio check on both 100.1 and 100. Do not do your fucking radio check on squad net until the entirety of your team has done their radio checks and you know that you have clear communication with all three of your team members. Now for this, your acting squad leader is going to be myself for now. So when you do your radio check, you're going to do a radio check for, just like any normal time, any station that's net, I will be the one responding to you as actual. Later on, you're going to have a different actual, but understand that your squad leader is only going to be referred to as actual. You are only going to be referred to as Alpha as the team leader. All right? Get your fucking radio checks done.
Anyone on this net, this is Alpha. Radio check on frequency 100. 101. Over.
You did not go back to your primary net because you're now trying to do a radio check on fucking squad net after I told you not to do it until the rest of your team is done. Which means you did not move back to channel 1 after you set 100 as your additional net. Also, it is not any one this net. It's any station. Private Fisher, question. Set yourself on yelling. Use your big boy voice. I can't hear you all the way the fuck back there. Still cannot hear you. Let's try this again. Hold control and press tab, and make sure that little box down on the bottom right says yelling. What is your question? Or is something not right with your communications? Because I still can't hear you for dick all, so you need to look into your microphone and get that squared away with a quickness. I am not hearing anybody doing fucking radio checks
Any
on your
station
team
on
net.
this net,
You're
this
still
is
on
Alpha.
fucking squad net. Your radio should be set up C1 100.1, A2 100.
Hit enter. Any station on this net, this is Alpha. Radio check 101, over.
It's 100.1.
Any station on this net, this is Alpha. Radio check 100.1, over.
Read you 5x5 on frequency 100.1, over.
Good copy, out.
Outstanding. It was slower than the second fucking coming of Christ, but you got there eventually. Carry on.
Alpha, this is Lonty, radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Lima Charlie, over.
Never done an additional nets, so they work about the same time? Yeah, you transmit on them separately, but you hear both of them at the same time.
Radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Hey, blah. Going pretty good.
This is Alpha. Lima Charlie, over.
Good copy, over.
Basket, it's possible. I don't know if I streamed it or not.
Full bear.
Who's responsible for assigning people their role during FTX and deployments? It depends on where they're billeted. They don't have different roles depending upon FTXs and stuff like that. It's always the same. Need a gaming computer. I'm teasing myself right now. I want in on this. Well, we are doing a, there's still a couple weeks left to get in on our raffle for that monster fucking gaming PC. Klein, I'm not sure what you mean, bud. If you're asking if I'm a sergeant or
Is this
what?
better, Sergeant?
Much better.
My question, Sergeant. I have the wrong radio.
Sergeant Smith, take him in there, get it squared away.
Roger. Alright, who's the one with the problem? Fisher?
Me, Sergeant.
Follow me. What's that, Fisher? Whoever that is. It is Fisher. What's your problem?
I have the wrong radio.
Feel so motivated. Well, I guess I'm glad I could motivate you. Gotta love i5. Well, that's the thing, is ArmA's really not that difficult to run. It's more so when you get into like the shit that we do with like large scale multiplayer. That's when it becomes difficult.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yes, sir. Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
This is Bird 1 Fisher on 100.1 radio check.
CG, you would definitely
This is
die.
Alpha. Lima Charlie, over.
Roger, out.
Alright. Your team checks weren't too half-assed bad. However, make sure when you respond to someone when they're doing a radio check, you say back to them the fucking frequency that they're doing the radio check on. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the fucking purpose of them doing a radio check. So, now the rest of your team is done. Do your radio check on SquadNet.
Anyone on this station, this is Alpha.
Nope.
Radio check.
Weren't transmitting on 100, so either you weren't pressing your additional transmit key or it is not the correct channel somehow.
This is Alpha. Any station on this net, radio check 100. Over.
Read you Lima Charlie on frequency 100, over.
Good copy. Out.
There we go. So, next thing we're going to do, Tosco, you're going to choose your battle buddies. Battle buddy is the person that stays glued to your fucking hip like they were born there. At no point in time do you ever lose your battle buddy. So, Tosco, who is going to be your battle buddy?
Plantier, you're with me. Fisher, Lil Bear, you're together.
Alright, who's going to be your 2IC? That's the person that's going to take over if you go down.
Fisher, you're 2IC.
Alright. Now, once you actually get into the unit, last thing that's assigned during a PCC is CLS, or Combat Lifesaver. That's somebody that acts to help get people up if a medic is not available. Now, you guys won't be dealing with that here, because CLS is not something that we cover here in OSUT. That's actually a course that you go through after you're done with OSUT. But when you hear that term, CLS, don't be surprised. It's what it means, Combat Lifesaver. They're kind of like a mini medic. What we're going to do now is head out into the field and start going over some of the fundamentals of patrolling. So, follow me. Walk up to this white flag. That's the second flagpole to your right. You're going to use your scroll wheel, head out to the movement course. Shit, urban operation is the last time you should lose someone. Alright. So, first thing we're going to go over is the 5 principles of patrolling. Those 5 principles are planning, recon, security, control, and common fucking sense. The first one, planning. We always go into a patrol with some type of plan. Alright? Now, it can be the best laid plan in the world, or the worst. Either way, it generally pretty much goes out the fucking window as soon as first contact hits. That being said, the more sound and secure your plan is, the better it's going to be able to stay together once those first bullets start flying. So, when we go into a patrol, we tend to have as many details as possible planned out. Recon. We always do some form of recon. Whether it's eyes on, satellite images, UAVs, air assets, or even simple map recon, so we at least know what type of terrain we're working in. Next is security. We always maintain 360-degree security, so that we can make sure we're not getting flanked at any point. Next we have control. We always try to be in control of our elements. And what that means is, we try to dictate the tempo. Alright? We do not allow the enemy to dictate what we are going to do, where we are going to move, and when we are going to move there. We dictate what the enemy is going to do. Biggest part of that is being very maneuverable. And that's what we're going to be going over here shortly. Lastly, common sense. Use it. It is incredibly valuable. Common sense ain't so goddamn common. I refer to it as a fucking superpower. And it is the responsibility of those of us that possess it to carry the fucking weight of those that don't. So if you possess it, you will go far. Now there are 2 primary types of patrols. A reconnaissance patrol and a combat patrol. Now we're not a reconnaissance unit, so we don't really do reconnaissance patrols. We do combat patrols. Since we're also not a policing unit, our combat patrols pretty much always guarantee we are going to see contact. Now in a combat patrol, there are 3 different types. There is an assault, a raid, and an ambush. Now an assault is a patrol to attack and occupy a certain position. A raid is a planned attack with a planned withdraw. Okay, so the difference between an assault and a raid: an assault, you're staying there. A raid, you are leaving. Lastly, an ambush. Everybody knows what the fucking ambush is. You lie in wait, generally along a pre-planned route, something like a MSR, ASR, so on. Wait for the enemy to move into the kill zone, spring the ambush, lay waste to the enemy. Now, as I said, a big part of patrolling is fire and maneuver. Now, there are three fundamental parts to a fire and maneuver element. That is assault, support, and security. Now, the assault element provides rear security during movement, and they act as the maneuver element for the patrol. The support element provides the base of fire during attacks, and they allow the assault element to maneuver on the enemy. Security element provides the security for the entirety of the patrol. So while the support element is providing that base of fire and the assault element is maneuvering, the security element is helping maintain that 360-degree security so that we don't get flanked. Alright, is everybody tracking on that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright, so a basic example of that we use is, say we were moving through a forest and we come up to a clearing. In the center of that clearing is a castle. We are going to assault that castle. At the front of our formation, we would have one rifle squad. Second would be a weapon squad, and then we would have two rifle squads behind them. First rifle squad would line up. They would create a skirmish line and begin engaging. Within their gaps, essentially in that skirmish line, that weapon squad would push up, and now they start providing the base of fire. While they're providing the base of fire, that third rifle squad, the maneuver element, flanks around from behind that skirmish line and gets up onto the walls of that castle. Once they're on the walls of the castle, the support element is going to lift and shift fire so that they can enter the castle. Once they enter the castle, the assault element is now inside there. That fourth and final element, who has set up security around the skirmish line, maintains their position. That first rifle squad that initially set up the skirmish line is going to pull off the skirmish line, maneuver around one of the flanks just like the assault element did, and push themselves up onto the walls of the castle. They are now the cordon element. They are going to set up an inner and outer cordon. Essentially what that means is, while that assault element is inside the walls of the castle clearing, that the first rifle squad is going to encircle that castle so that nobody can get out and no reinforcements can get in. And you still have the weapon squad back at the original skirmish line providing base of fire, and the security element there securing their flanks. Alright, everybody tracking on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now, next thing we're going to go over is some of the different techniques when it comes to movement and maneuver. Okay? They are two very different things. Movement is simply traveling, like we were talking about yesterday. Maneuver is what you do when you are engaged. So maneuver is generally where you're going to move from cover to cover. Traveling is just you moving. So maneuvering, cover to cover, movement, traveling. Pretty simple. Now, who can tell me the difference between cover and concealment?
Concealment is something the enemy can see you through, and cover is something the bullets won't go through, First Sergeant.
Pretty much. Very simply, cover stops a bullet, concealment don't. That simple. Concealment simply hides you. Cover protects you. Now, there are a couple different types of cover. There is, hard cover such as concrete walls or shit like that. However, the best form of cover is something that you'll hear us refer to quite often, known as defilade. Defilade is essentially a means of putting the earth between you and the enemy. It is the best form of cover you can have, because they're not going to blow a goddamn hole through a mountain. So you see defilade, it's essentially putting earth between you and the enemy. Anytime you can do that, it's for the better. Now obviously they can still engage you with weapon systems that use indirect fire. Okay, that's stuff like mortars, artillery, grenade launchers, shit like that. But direct fire weaponry can't engage you behind defilade. Now one important thing when dealing with defilade is the act of skylining. Skylining is putting the sky as your backdrop instead of the ground. In order to get behind defilade, oftentimes you have to move over the top of a hill, ridgeline, so on and so forth. Generally smarter to move around the defilade instead of over the top of it. That way you don't skyline. Right, skylining is one of the most dangerous goddamn things you can do. Now once you are engaged, there are a couple of different reporting systems that you can use to report essentially what you are engaged with. Now the first one of those is going to be an ADIRAC report. ADIRAC report stands for Alert, Direction, Description, Range, Assignment, and Control. Alright, so alert simply means you see something. Alright, you call out that you see something. Direction, call out what direction you see it. Preferably in a bearing, like we were talking about yesterday. But if you can't get a bearing immediately, cardinal direction. Left, right, front, rear. However, only use left, right, front, rear if you have the same direction of travel. If you are all moving in the same direction, then you can call out that you have something on your left or something on your right. But if you're set up in a 360 degree posture, your left is probably going to be different than somebody else's fucking left. So don't be an idiot and say, guy's left, and your buddy is fucking facing the opposite direction of you. Next, description. What type of target is it? Is it a foot mobile, light armor, heavy armor, mobile artillery, so on? Next is range, distance to the target. Again, like yesterday, eyeball it if need be, but try to get an exact range. Assignment. This is where leadership comes in. Leadership, if we have the opportunity, meaning you're not currently engaging the target, they're not engaging you, we have the drop on them, leadership will tend to assign who is going to engage what. It's always better to pick your targets first. Lastly is control. And that is that if, again, we have the drop on the enemy, leader is going to decide when you are going to actually engage. Just because you see someone doesn't mean you're going to open fire on them. If there's a random squad out there in an open field and you got the drop on them, then you're going to get lined up in a skirmish line. Team leader or squad leader, whoever, is going to assign who's going to engage what. That doesn't mean just start fucking shooting, because you're still waiting on everybody to get on target and everything. Once everybody's good to go, then that leadership element is going to say, alright, light them up, and then you guys will preferably drop all of them within a few seconds of each other. Now when it comes to making that ADIRAC report, remember what we talked about yesterday. Simplified version of it is the 3Ds, distance, direction, description. That is an ADIRAC report. It's just a shorter way of saying it. Okay, so distance, direction, description. That's the most important thing to remember. Again, you give someone those three things, they can find something and kill it. However, when it comes to description, this tends to fuck a lot of people up. Because you guys, majority of the time, guys come in here watching videos of us operate and shit like that, or being in prior units, you hear the term contact a lot. Well, people don't tend to know what contact actually fucking means when it comes to referring to a foot mobile or so on and so forth. A contact means that individual or that target is currently engaged or is engaging you. That is a contact. It means you have made contact with the enemy. So if they are not shooting at you and you are not shooting at them, they're not a fucking contact. You haven't made any contact. And I highly doubt you're standing up waving your fucking hand at them saying, "Hello, Akbar." No, they're not a fucking contact. You have not made any contact with them. So again, if you are not engaged, then they are not a contact. The only, I say only, exception to that being if that foot mobile or that target is danger close. They are right on top of you, inside of 50 meters, and contact is imminent, meaning you know you will undoubtedly engage them or be engaged, then they can be classified as a contact without shots being fired. Is that understood?
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, first
Yes,
sergeant.
sorry.
Alright. So, if they're not a contact, then what are they? Well, very simply, if you don't know what it is, you simply see something moving out there, just call it as movement. So you can call up, I have movement bearing 123 distance X number of meters. You don't know what it is. That's fine. You don't have to know what it is. You can simply call it as movement. Or if you can see what it is, if it's an enemy squad, then you can call up, I have enemy squad size element of foot mobiles bearing 123 X number of meters. Next, what if they're not armed? Then it would be classified as a civilian or non-combatant. Alright, non-combatant is another name for a civilian. That's perfectly fine. Then call them up as a civilian. However, what if it's a non-uniformed armed personnel? So they're not an enemy uniform, so they look like a civilian, but they're carrying a weapon. That's perfectly fine. We operate in countries where civilians are allowed to carry AK-47s. It's no problem. They're not a fucking contact, and they're sure as shit not a civilian contact. No such thing exists. Do not ever fucking refer to someone as a civilian contact. They are either a civilian or they are a contact. That's it. There's no gray area, no fucking middle ground. And when it comes to armed civilians, it's pretty cut and dry. So, as I said, we operate in countries where civilians are allowed to carry weapons. That being said, use common fucking sense. You don't herd sheep with an RPG. And you don't hunt fucking wolves with a PKM machine gun. Alright, so if you see some random fucking idiot running around with a PKM, but he's in civilian clothes, he's not a civilian. I can tell you from experience, goat farmers don't have fucking light machine guns. Now, when it comes to actual armed civilians that are carrying, say, an AK-47, the way the Army deals with them is with an escalation of force. Alright, now, the technique that's taught is known as shout, show, shoot, shoot. Well, shout, show, shove, shoot, shoot, shoot. We dropped the shove out of it because you can't shove someone in ArmA. So, what does that mean? When dealing with a civilian, you shout at them orders, verbal orders. Right? Believe me, I don't care how little English someone speaks, you yell at them enough and point your weapon at them and then point it at the ground and then at them and then point it at the ground. They tend to learn real fucking quick. That means get on the ground. So you verbally yell orders at them. If they continue to not comply with your verbal orders, then you raise your weapon and show that you are prepared to defend yourself and others. If they still continue to disobey verbal orders, then you fire a warning shot. Do not ever fire a warning shot into the fucking air. You fire a warning shot into the ground. Alright, you put that round 3 meters from their foot. If they still continue to disobey verbal orders, this is only used for vehicles. You fire a disabling shot. Now the vehicle, you disable it by hitting the tires. don't go for the engine block. Especially if you're up on a mounted fucking gun, because that 50 cal will rip right through that engine block and smoke the people sitting inside the passenger cabin. So you take out the tires. Again, that is only used on a vehicle. Do not ever fire a fucking disabling shot into a footmobile. You are not allowed to shoot to wound. We're the United States fucking Army. If you shoot someone, you put them down permanently. If they still continue to disobey verbal orders, then you shoot to kill. Alright, so if you do everything you possibly can to get them to comply, and they are still approaching you, they are still disobeying those orders that you're giving them, you drop them. At the end of the day, your job first and foremost is to protect yourselves and other friendly elements. It is not to play the fucking LAPD. Now the next part of dealing with that, with escalation of force, is a term known as a declaration of hostile intent. Declaration of hostile intent is what you essentially need for a good shoot. So a declaration of hostile intent can be either a verbal or physical action. And what that means is, if you're dealing with a civilian that's got a bit of a fucking attitude, that's perfectly fine, whatever, no big deal. Put them in some fucking zip cuffs, they tend to calm down pretty goddamn quick. That being said, if you're dealing with a civilian that is making verbal threats against your life or the lives of other friendly troops, that is a declaration of hostile intent. You are cleared to drop them. We do not take chances. Now when it comes to a physical declaration of hostile intent, if that civilian is armed, and he at any point raises his weapon towards you or towards friendly forces, that is a declaration of hostile intent. Drop them. They do not need to open fire on you first. Now, the last thing we're going to go over with this is the common misconception that the United States military will not engage a holy building. I will tell you now that is 100% fucking wrong. Holy buildings do not mean dick all if the enemy is occupying them. It is no longer a holy building. It is an enemy fortified structure. That simple. So I don't give a shit if it's a mosque, minaret tower, fucking synagogue, Holy Southern Baptist Church. If the enemy is inside of it, it's no longer holy. Does everybody understand that?
Yes,
sir. Yes, for sure.
Alright. Any questions on any of the stuff we have covered so far?
No, for sure.
No, for sure.
Alright. Next thing we're going to go over is an ACE report. ACE reports become incredibly important when we're out in the field. ACE stands for Ammo, Casualties, and Equipment. When we are out in the field, generally, after pretty much any engagement, but especially after heavy engagements, once everything kind of calms down for a second, higher is going to call down for an ACE report, because they need to know how their guys sit as far as ammo, casualties, and equipment. Now, we use a color-coded system for this. Green, you're good. Yellow, you're doing alright. Orange, about halfway. Red, you're getting pretty low. Black means you're out. Alright. So, ammo, pretty simple. How are you doing on M4 magazines? How are you doing on saw belts? 40 mics, stuff like that. Casualties, again, you have, a couple of light wounds, but you're still combat effective. You have the entirety of your fucking team down. You're no longer combat effective. Lastly, equipment. Are you properly equipped? Do you have AT4? Do you have a law? Do you have the night vision that you need? Is someone missing their micro dagger? So on and so forth. How are you doing on your equipment? Do you have everything? Is everything operational? Last report that we're going to go over is a salute report. Now, a salute report is pretty much the same as an ADIRAC report or the 3Ds. Salute stands for size, activity, location, unit, time, and equipment. Now, the reason a salute report is a little bit different is that 3Ds or ADIRAC reports tend to be used when either you're already engaged or engagement is pretty highly likely. Salute reports tend to be used when you've got a little bit more time. So say you're up in like a Overwatch position and you've got really good eyes on the enemy and you can take some time to get a really detailed report. That's what a salute report is used for. So again, salute is size, activity, location, unit, time, and equipment. Alright, so to break those down, size, call out what size element you're seeing. Is it a fire team? Is it a squad? Is it a platoon? Is it an entire fucking battalion? Activity, what are they doing? Are they patrolling in a clockwise fashion? Are they sitting stationary? Are they looking like they're actively searching for you? So on and so forth. Their location, where are they in relation to you? Where are they in relation to your assigned objective area? So on and so forth. Unit, exactly what type of unit is it? So is it normal fire team, or is it a BM-21 fucking grad artillery system? Is it a T-72 main battle tank? So on. What type of unit is it? Time. How long ago did you see them? Now, that's, you may think not that important. However, if you're calling up a unit that's on patrol and you say they're patrolling 200 meters west of Objective 1, that time becomes relevant. Because if they're patrolling, if they've got a 500 meter patrol path, now it's on hire to decide, okay, do we engage them now while they're close to the objective, or do we wait until they're farther away from the objective? Well, if he said that he's seen them 5 minutes ago, they're probably already farther away from the objective now. We could push in now and try to take the objective and potentially get hit from our flank, or we could wait until they come back and drop all of them together. So that time becomes very important. So if you say that you've seen a squad size element of foot mobiles patrolling 500 meters west of the AO, time now, then they know that you have eyes on them currently. You say time 10 mics ago, then they know you've seen them 10 minutes ago. You do not currently have eyes on them. Lastly, equipment. What type of equipment do they have? Is there RPG gunners? Is there Igla gunners? Is there machine gunners? Are they accompanied by trucks that have mounted guns on them? So on and so forth. What type of equipment do they have? That's where, when you report up that type of equipment, if you remember when we were talking about the Atarac report and control, that leadership element is going to decide who's engaging what. If there is high threats like machine gunners, stuff like that, that's who they're going to put the more dangerous weapon systems on. So if, say, you've seen a fire team out there and you guys were getting ready to engage them and you reported up that one of those enemy fire team members has a PKM on them, then your team leader would be assigning your saw gunner to take out that machine gunner because he's the biggest threat. So he's going to use his biggest weapon system to take out that threat. All right, everybody tracking?
Yes, Mr. Sergeant.
All right, Sergeant Kulov, you got a comment?
Yes, thank you, Tab. One thing on ACE reports. When it comes to you being a rifleman, what is your key piece of equipment that is necessary for your fire team leader to know about?
Your weapon for a Sergeant.
What weapon?
Your primary weapon for a Sergeant.
Okay, when you're a rifleman, like Private Littleberry there, that AT4 is extremely important to know. And oftentimes, if I'm a rifleman and I fire my AT4...
Alright, sorry guys, I haven't been able to kind of bullshit with you there while I'm on my little tirade.
I am black on AT. That way the fire team leader knows he can pass it up to squad leader. That way squad leader knows that one of his teams is black on AT. So it's very important for that for riflemen.
So yeah, hopefully you guys are still enjoying, still having a good Sunday afternoon as I fucking sip on my monster here and wet my whistle. Alright. Last couple of things we're going to go over before we actually start taking you out here into the field. First one being echoing orders. All right, it's pretty self-explanatory, but when you receive an order as leadership, you echo that exact order down to your guys, word for fucking word. You do not ever leave anything left out of an order you're given. If anything, you add more detail to it. All right, at no point in time should your guys ever be less fucking informed than you are, aside from the time it's taking you to send that order down to them. Other part of that is that you echo that order back up to your chain of command. So if you as a team leader are told to move bearing 123 fire team wedge strong right, you're going to be sending that down to your team. As soon as you're done sending that down to your team, you're going to acknowledge your leadership telling you that order by echoing it back to them. So you're going to say something along the lines of solid copy, Alpha's moving, bearing 123, fire team wedge, strong right. And then you're good to go. But you're always going to echo that order back to them whenever possible. If you're currently engaged or you're busy with something else, that's fine if you can't get the entire order echoed back to your higher. But at bare fucking minimum, you need to acknowledge that you have received that order. Because if you don't say anything when your squad leader or your team leader is calling you on the radio, if you don't say shit in response, they assume you're either knocked out or you're dead. And when they come running over to find you, and you're sitting there with your fucking thumb in your dick, not doing anything, they're going to rip your fucking head off for not responding on the radio. Alright, so anytime you receive an order, if you're in a leadership position, echo that shit down to your guys immediately, and then respond back to your leadership and let them know exactly what you're doing. Alright? Make sense?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Last thing. This, again, incredibly important. Verbalize your actions. Alright? So, if you're told to move by your fire team leader, radio them back and say moving. If you need to reload, call out that you're reloading. Anything you're doing, verbalize it. Not only so guys know what you're up to, know if your gun is down, know, hey, yeah, he is moving, he's following along with us, so on and so forth. If you're not verbal, there's a good fucking chance that you could get knocked out and nobody would have any idea. Because if, say, Fisher and Tosco here are supposed to be covering two separate sectors, they're battle buddies, Tosco's covering off to the right, Fisher's covering off to the left. Fisher doesn't like talking much on the radio. He gets shot in the fucking face. Tosco has no idea because his back is to him, and he's used to Fisher not saying what he's doing, so he doesn't think anything of it. Then you guys get an order to move. You guys start moving, you get to your next position, and Tosco goes, hey, where the fuck is my battle buddy? And looks and, oh shit, Fisher's not here. We have to go back and find him. All because he didn't want to say what he was doing while he was doing it. Alright? So, again, verbalize your actions. Be communicative. Do not hesitate to make, not necessarily small talk, but just verbalize what you're doing and keep the vocalization up so that guys know you're still fucking awake. Right? It doesn't mean we need to hear about what you ate for fucking dinner last night or any stupid shit like that, but just every so often say, hey, I'm good, how you doing, shit like that. Alright? And especially make sure anytime after you get into an engagement, make sure you check on everybody. Yes, very good point there, Doba. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to move through this patrol course. First, we're going to demonstrate some different things for you as to how to cross something known as an LDA, a linear danger area, or a road, as well as how to set up security, do halts, short halts, long halts, so on and so forth. Alright, stand by for one moment. It'd help if I could fucking type. Check the micro dagger for like movement. Yeah. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna hand you guys over to Sergeant Smith, and he's gonna get you guys rolling through this. Sergeant Smith, go ahead.
All right.
It's all right, AA Ron. I'm sure you'll get another chance.
All right. So there are a couple types of danger areas, like the first I just said. And then one of them are open areas such as roads and so open areas like we're in right now. This is an open area. You got no trees covering you in your movement. Then you got roads and trails, which is the one directly behind you. Then you got villages, enemy positions,
Smith
minefields,
actually doesn't do too
streams,
bad at all,
and
Caldwell.
fire
He's
obstacles.
senior for
There's many
Class
other
Bravo
variants
now.
of danger areas. Those are the main ones that we like to point out because those are the main ones you're going to see throughout your whole time being billeted. So the term of danger area refers to any area on the route where the terrain could expose the unit to enemy observation, fire, or both. If possible, the leader plans to avoid danger areas, but sometimes he cannot. So when the unit must cross a danger area, it does so as quickly and as
Oh
carefully as
yeah,
possible.
they fucking grow up quick,
During
Caldwell.
planning, the leader designates near side and far side rally points if the unit encounters an unexpected danger area. It
Just think, you
uses
still
the
got,
en route
what,
rally
fucking
points
6 months
closest to
left?
the danger area as far as side and near side rally points.
Or do you even know yet? Have they told you how long your fucking rotation's gonna be?
So open areas conceal the unit on the near side and observe the area. Post security and give early warning. Send an element across to clear the far side. When cleared, crosses the remainder of the unit as at the shortest exposed distance and as quickly as possible. So if we're crossing this open area right here, that tree line back over there would be where mostly that would be that near side rally point.
Oh, right on.
So
So
we're gonna
you
have
at
the
least have a
element push up that
decent
infiltrate
idea of when you're gonna be relieved.
their side. That'd be infiltrate. From our side, it'd be defilate. They're gonna push it up, and they're gonna actually provide security as one element crosses to the next tree line behind you. You turn around. So they're gonna either bound it towards here, so they're gonna either stop here by these rock wall formations. Another element will push up, and they're gonna basically the central movement is to make it to the next tree line, which would be their far side rally point. Everyone get the gist of
Oh,
that?
that's where you are. You're in Qatar.
Yes,
How
sir.
to cross
I was
the
sitting here
line.
trying to remember where the fuck you were at, because I
Got
knew
roads
you
and
had told me
trails
and I'd been there,
behind
but
you.
yeah, I don't remember
On that
Qatar.
road right there, that's a danger area. As you can see, our demonstrators right now are basically showing you how to set up a danger crossing.
Boy, I bet
Go
you're
ahead,
having
later on.
fun.
Essentially, right here, where you guys are standing right now, the element that would be covering that team.
And also,
basically
Blues
danger
and
area,
Surge, thank
they're
you
gonna be
guys for the
actually standing
follows.
here
Sorry I
by
wasn't able
rock
to
wall
thank you
on your side.
when you actually followed.
Across from them, the next rock wall over there, that's their far side. That's where the element would be crossing that danger area, but going over there and securing that area, and then waiting for the team that's actually holding the danger area to recover and move back to your location.
Been going around looking at any of the fucking cars and shit.
Tracking?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
All right, villages pass when you pass a village on the downside hill. I'm sorry, the downwind side, and well away from them. So try to avoid animals, especially dogs, because they can basically
There's fucking,
give out
like,
your
there's
location. The dog
streets
already
there,
tells you, they
like
follow
where
any
some of the
villager that
hotels
sees
and
that, they can
are,
actually,
not the
if
hotels, but
they're
the
not
restaurants and
ballistic,
shit
they could
are.
actually
Like,
radio
the
that
cars on those
inform
streets are
any
worth
hostile
more than
nearby
probably the
tell
town
you,
I live in.
I don't know, something's going wrong here in the village. So try to avoid any animals or dogs whenever you're crossing to a village. So whenever whenever tree is moving or maneuvering in an area, you gotta pay attention to enemy positions. So they could be points like areas that you can see with the rocks around them that could possibly be an enemy position. So you gotta keep your eyes on those places because you never know something might pop up from there. So keep your eyes on tree lines, rocks, small tiny hills that are alongside your path. So basically, enemy positions can pass on down.
I never even seen the
Enemy
fucking
might have scout
the
spots.
airbase there, because
So
we
be
flew
alert
into
for
the
wires
like commercial
and warning
airport. Like, do they
devices.
have like actual barracks
Now,
set up there, or are you
minefields,
guys set up in
you can
choose and
bypass
shit?
minefields if at
Well,
all
you're
possible,
fucking Air
even
Force,
if
so
it
I highly doubt
requires
you're set up
changing
in
the route
choose. But
by great
is it?
distance.
Do they have like a
So
full-on
clear a path
fucking
through your
base there,
minefield
or is it
necessary, and we'll
kind of
never
a
cross the
fob?
minefield whenever you
Like I
get a
said, we went
chance.
into
You
the
always find a
commercial
route
airport.
around it. Because it slows the time of the infantry. It takes them
Oh, right
a
on.
bit longer for them to cross it.
Yeah, I know Smith
Streams.
streams.
Select a narrow spot in
I
the
believe
stream that
Tactical
offers
Justin
concealment
is
on
his
both
name.
banks. Observe the far side carefully and place near and far side security for early warning. Clear the far side and
Okay, so it
cross
is a full
rapidly
base right
and
on.
quickly. Then lastly, wire obstacles. Avoid wire obstacles. The enemy covers obstacles with observation and
That gotta be a
fire.
big fucking airbase, dude. If it's handling
If you see
B-52s,
an area that's marked, or I'm sorry,
and
that's
we didn't
placed
handle
with wire,
fucking, we didn't handle
try to figure out a
B-52s
route
at
around it.
fucking Talil.
The longer you take to go across it, the longer, not longer, but the much easier the enemy can to actually mow you guys down as you try to cross that wire. So go around it. Alright, that's enough for literature here. Go ahead for the demonstration. So in front of you,
Qatari
close to the ground,
airbase.
front of right here is the demonstrators are actually showing you how to actually establish.
Please tell me someone calls it Shatari, like the fucking Shatari from Marvel Comics.
Come towards this near side, and it'll be usually marked onto your map, which would be one of the control measures. It's gonna be marked as danger crossing. And the element will actually be stopping here.
Because if they don't, I totally fucking would.
Stop right here by the rock wall behind you. They're gonna wait for that supporting element to get up to their position. Once the supporting element is to the position,
Not that you've heard, somebody's fucking slacking.
Actually observe this danger area. Squad leader confirms that.
Yeah, I think Smith's been streaming for a while.
And determines he'll determine the technique that the unit will use to cross it. Then he'll inform his team leaders of the situation in near side and far side rally points, which is this right here, the near side. So he's going to figure out where can he actually deem as a far side. Once you figure out this is the far side right here, he's then going to signal towards his lead team to move up and secure the danger crossing. So I'm going to go over and demonstrate you guys how I'm actually set up danger crossing. So, you guys, both of your alpha team.
Oh, Loom. I don't even have it fucking set as a fucking blacklisted word, so I mean, you could at least fucking attempt to spell it properly. Fucking happy retard.
Alright. Who's your buddy? I didn't forget who that
Lentier.
is. Lentier. You Lentier is going to come up here. You're going to say, Lentier, go ahead and establish security to the northwest. So come follow me. So you can say Lentier, establish security to the northwest. I'll establish security to the southeast. The security you're going to establish is on this side of the road. You see how the demonstrator is doing that right now?
Yep.
So you two are going to say that to each other. Your second battle...
Still not even fucking doing it properly. Jesus Christ, come on. I'll give you one more attempt.
Now, once you're laid down on the road, do not say that you're set to your buddy team unless you know you're set. So if you're moving, you're not set. But once you're set, you're going to tell your second buddy team that you're set. After that, Fisher and a little bit...
I don't know, the trolls don't even fucking put in the effort anymore. And granted, he's probably fucking 12, but still.
You guys can cross where you're going to say crossing. Let them know that this is you guys crossing so they don't have to turn their head back around thinking it's enemies. You're going to move up as far as possible that you think...
Weapon, you don't get issued tac gear, per se. Like, they'll issue you a vest and shit like that, but you can also buy your own.
Hiding behind from you. So you're going to clear out the other far side of this. You're going to clear out the western side, make sure it's over here. And we're doing this running, not walking.
But that's the only technical, I guess, tac gear that we had, or that we would have, would be plate carriers, and we didn't really, we had helmets, but we never used them. Yeah, pretty much everybody does, Alpha. Like I said, you get issued a fucking plate carrier, but it's one of those little tiny pieces of shit. Everybody just buys their own shit. I know, like, my buddies that were security contractors and shit, like, you can't buy your own weapons, so, like, you can have your own sidearm, but you can't have, like, your own primary and shit like that. Like, that stuff gets issued to you when you do security, but, otherwise, you just buy all your own shit. Yeah, exactly. You can bring your own sidearm, whatever the fuck you want, but your primary has to be issued from whatever company it is that you're contracting for. But everything else is fucking rung what you brung. Yes, PC. This is OSUT. One station unit training. I gotta remind him to make sure he goes over short halt, long halt. Yeah, usually the biggest thing guys will fucking splurge on is your plate carrier, because you want a fucking plate carrier that's, well, as comfortable as a plate carrier can be. And then primarily it's just clothes, boots, socks, lots and lots and lots of socks, lots of chonies, fucking t-shirts, shit like that. OSUT is 4 days. Training and everything? Yes and no, PC. Trained in as much as we can in the 4 hours that we have. It's not as detailed as it should be, technically. But it's also the fact that we can't train guys for like, 30, 40 hours before we let them in the unit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once again, once you cross the road, a supporting element, you're gonna move up here towards where you think it's accurate.
Hey, Cope, how you doing, brother?
The lead team has just cleared out one of the buddy teams, and then you're gonna establish security right here. And you're just gonna wait for the lead element or your squad leader to give you further orders to push up to the long haul or to the RP2.
But yeah, basically we have to teach the guys the basics of being an infantryman in 4 days, when, in actuality it, would be fucking 6 to 8 weeks.
Alright, so if you're the first buddy team...
Yeah, exactly. Fucking socks become like gold, dude. Like having a fresh pair of socks every day is the greatest fucking thing on the planet.
Once you hear that person say last man crossing, Tosco and Lentier, you should already know that now it's time for you to recover.
I'm gonna threat sirens to keep me company over here in Hawaii. Oh, Jesus.
So once you cross the rail, once you cross your second buddy team, whoever's that last...
Up until 7 playing Diablo? Jesus Christ. I didn't even know you had Diablo.
Okay, last man's across. Now it's time for us to recover. So once these two recovered, they cross the rail. They say last man's crossing. Second buddy team, which would be... Come to me. Should be Fisher and Littleberry. Y'all gonna recover, get back up.
Oh, see, Alpha, that's where you gotta get hooked up with somebody in the mail department. Because now the mail is all run by contractors. Like, I had, 3 or 4 of my good buddies that, like, I knew from back home here that worked in the mail department. So you can get anything in and out if you know a fucking mail inspector that happens to be contracted on base.
No questions, correct?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Are you sure?
Oh, you got it yesterday? Nice.
Okay, so you're about to demonstrate this later on. Okay, so when you're in a short halt pause...
Yeah, you can fucking get anything, including sending fucking, like, cartons of smokes out from the bazaars and shit like that.
When Sosco radios that in his team net, and he says short halt, you guys gonna go ahead and crouch. You're not gonna lay down, you're gonna crouch. So let's say you guys win a wedge formation, go ahead and form that real quick. Doesn't matter if it's heavy right or heavy left.
Lindsay, take my left flank.
Alright. So you're in a wedge right now.
No, Kyle, I didn't hear about that. So they're sounding that shit for you because of fucking Korea right now?
Spread apart. So you guys a little bit too close. Because if 140 mic lens right between here, all of you go down. There you go. That's the actual spacing you guys be doing in your movement. So everyone's going to hold this sector. So Tosco, of course, is going to watch the northeastern sector. Lentier, you're going to be in charge of the whole northwestern sector if you're by yourself. Fisher, you're going to be watching the northeastern sector, so almost basically the 2 o'clock. Right there. And then Littleberry, you'll be watching...
That fucking sucks, man.
7 o'clock. Now it's 7, I should say about 5 o'clock. 5 to 6.
Oh, yeah, that would suck, Alpha. Well, see, that's where it kind of sucks that all the mail shit is handled by contractors now. Because it's not like you can really bribe them with, shit that you can get that they can't. So yeah, you can't really be like, hey, I'll get you a whole goddamn case of Rippets if you, if you can hook me up. And it doesn't really work when he's a contractor and he's getting paid
Now,
pretty much as much as you are, so.
Where is this last guy in the rear? Which where I'm standing right now? Where would he be looking at? Remember, it has to be 360 security, so where would I be looking at? Southwest, yes, I'll be watching your rear. So you gotta make sure the whole team's actually watching 360 if you're a team leader, Fisher. I'm sorry, Tosco. Sometimes you're gonna have to micromanage that to make sure your team's actually watching the sectors. Let's go ahead and move on towards the long haul. Go ahead and follow me. So once that danger crossing was cleared, you move towards RP2, which is the long haul. The squad leader would deem which side you'll be watching, which side is 12 o'clock and which side is 6 o'clock. So if I was squad leader, I would say, alright, Alpha, since you guys are Alpha. Alright, Alpha, go ahead and inform 12 o'clock security towards northeast.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. Socks are hands down the most important thing you can have.
Come over here by me. And then basically
Socks, a fucking laptop, and a hard drive for music.
And 10 o'clock. Now, once you get into giving the order...
Well, right now, Dover, they're going over the different types of halts. So you have a short halt where you maintain your formation and just drop to a knee, and rear security guy will spin around and cover the rear. And that's generally just used when, like, you know, someone needs to get a, you know, bearing real quick or whatever. And then long halt is what you see here, where you're going to be sitting there for a minute. Granted, you're going to be spaced out a little bit more than this, but this is just, you know, for demonstration.
Fisher, you as the second buddy team 2IC, you basically just tell your body buddy where to form his position at. So
yeah, exactly. Quote unquote music.
So watching the front, or he'll be watching the 9 o'clock, just directly straight for it where I'm looking at sort of northwest. Get what I'm saying?
Yes, Sergeant.
Things that you gotta make sure when you're forming this position is
yeah, you never know what kind of freaky shit your buddy is into until you fucking swap hard drives to get new music.
Now, the way the position at right now is with this guy watching the 12 o'clock, and you can pretend I'm carrying a rifle right now. What he's looking at right now, he could actually form overlapping fire. So, even though he's watching the sector, if his battle buddy needs assistance and he's getting overwhelmingly forced towards the sector, he can automatically go ahead and turn.
Way not in the Porta Johns. You know, saying that, and I've told this story before.
So right now, as you can see right now, this is
there was a day we had the fucking incoming siren went off. Everybody runs to the bunker and do head count, and one short. And once the all clear signal is given, everybody gets out and starts searching for this dude. They end up finding him in the shitter. He was in there. It was the only reason that we were on base because it was a Black Flag Day, so it was fucking hot as hell. He went in there to take a dump and fucking passed out from the heat. And the medics found him in the shitter, passed out, slept through a fucking mortar strike.
Make sure the AR is actually watching at 12 o'clock. It doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock. He has to watch the front. So Tosco, if this was your sector,
luckily it was alright though, just all fucking dehydrated and shit, but yeah.
And let your AR watch at 12 o'clock. Alright?
Yes, Sergeant.
Now, any questions on how to form this formation?
No, Sergeant.
Alright. So, in a perfect
Seems about right, yeah.
It'll be
How the incoming sirens didn't wake him up, I have no fucking clue, man. And any of you guys that have ever heard those fucking incoming sirens, like, those things are loud as fuck.
Let's go ahead and show you the 6 o'clock. Now, if you're the rear element, the last element to get to this position, this long halt security, what you're going to do is going to establish 6 o'clock position, and your squad leader will let you know. So, the position you have at 6 o'clock is...
Tell a story to tell the kiddos. Yeah. Oh, this one time, these fucking ass bags shot mortars at me, and this dude passed out in a plastic toilet trying to take a shit because it was so hot outside.
You're going to make sure that you're established right here, a little bit further apart, away from Alpha, or that first element that got to the scene.
He was fucking out cold before the siren went off.
Same thing as they did. But you're established security from your sector. So right now, this guy's watching 6 o'clock. This guy right here, he's watching the 4 o'clock position. And you get same overlapping fire on the same side. And then adds addition to where the AR is supposed to be facing towards. If the AR has to be facing towards 6 o'clock position as well. So if your team was assigned to a 6 o'clock position, make sure the AR is faced towards 6 o'clock. So if you come follow me over here, you can see the AR is right now. It's watching 6 o'clock. So the same thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Position, the AR
I said it was Black Flag.
So
I mean, it was
now
probably
you have
pushing 130 that day.
Systems that's capable of launching, sending out multiple rounds is watching both sectors from the 12, from the front and the rear. Any questions? 6 o'clock position.
No, sorry.
No, Sergeant.
Okay. People you see in the center right now, this is the squad medic and the squad leader. Squad leader most likely watching the front because he needs to figure out where the squad has to move forward next. And you get squad medic watching the rear. Alright, you guys have any questions?
No, Sergeant.
No, Sergeant.
I do real quick.
Yes.
Lonty has a question. Lonty, I'm sorry.
Hey, Ty.
This man over here, he's not directly onto the wall, is that correct? Or do you have to be off the wall?
From this one right here?
Yeah, right there, I'm sorry.
No, you can't be close to the wall. Like I said, there has to be spacing. He can't be.
Gotcha.
He can't be right here if his body buddy has to support him.
Nice, Alpha.
Flagging him, he can't support him. So like I said, spacing has to be key to like this right here, this formation.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So,
questions? Yes.
When you come into this formation, I would call 12 o'clock sector to the northeast.
Yes.
And then I would say...
Nice, hey, Ron.
Take the 10 o'clock, and then I would move to the 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when we did weapons training stateside, because we couldn't do it over there because we weren't security, so we weren't allowed to carry weapons. But we still had to go through weapons training, you know, in case shit got really bad.
Yes.
But the instructors we had, dude, were just absolute badasses. One dude was former Delta, one was former SEAL. And I learned a lot from those guys in only the couple of weeks that we were, you know, that we had them for training. Those guys were fucking, dude, they were monsters.
Alright, awesome. First Sergeant?
Alright. What you guys are going to do now is you're going to do a little simulated short patrol from here over to the bounding course, where we're going to do a dry run of bounding, teach you guys how to do alternating bounding, and so on and so forth. That being said, Sergeant Smith here is going to be your actual, alright? Remember I told you earlier, actual is your squad lead. The only thing you refer to him as on the radio. Now he's going to issue an order, what bearing to move, what speed, what formation, so on and so forth. Remember what we talked about yesterday with the fucking formations. When he tells you to move, it means start fucking moving. You can fall into your formation while you're moving. You do not need to stand there and get into your formation and then start going. Alright? Everybody tracking?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Alright. Sergeant Smith, these guys over to the fucking bounding course.
Roger. Are you going to follow me?
Yeah, Kyle. They were the fucking incoming, incoming. You know, the super fucking annoying ones, but the lady sounds like the most polite fucking woman on the planet.
Heavy left, boys.
Let's see, where the fuck am I at here?
Your AR is supposed to be on the side with the rifleman. Grenadier is supposed to be on the side by himself. So go ahead and fix that.
Alright, I'll get myself over here. Yeah, Alpha. What are they gonna do? Send you to a combat zone and fucking pay you more money? Okay. Alright, let's see if they can fucking move half-ass decently.
Squad, we're moving out.
Yeah, we had C-Rams because it was a...
You're running, you're not jogging. Supposed to be jogging, not running.
Yeah, we had C-Rams because it was an airbase, so... That is still not jogging. Doesn't know how to turn off his walk. I always love that, if you guys have ever seen that meme of, the fucking... an A10 looking at R2-D2 and says something along the lines of, like, basically, let's make babies or some shit, and then it says 9 months later and it shows a C-RAM.
Tosco, move this a little bit further into the east. Down into the draw. Just bearing 064.
Yeah, the C-Rams work pretty nice. I mean, they don't
Scratch that. Just bearing
always stop
073.
every round, but they definitely work pretty nice. Yeah, C-Ram is the land version of C-Wiz. But yeah, my buddy who worked for Floor in Afghanistan, he did construction, and he fucking they had mortars hit, and C-Ram didn't stop a couple of them, and they were still on their way to the bunker, and it hit out in front of him. Didn't hit him with any shrapnel, but it blew a bunch of fucking rocks and shit and gravel up into his face, and he had to have surgery to get, like, all the rocks and shit removed. It didn't fuck his face up too bad. Like, he's got some somewhat gnarly scars and shit, but, yeah, he got super fucking lucky that it was just rocks and shit that hit him. No shrapnel hit him. Cam, they gotta go from basically here where they're at over to over here. I don't even think I have fucking 3-1 set up. I do not, because I'm an idiot.
Actual, this is Alpha. We have movement bearing 095.
300 meters out.
You say they have movement?
Alright, Roger Alpha. Just continue movement over.
Smith, are you up on 3-1?
I don't see
Actual
that.
Actual says, just keep moving.
Roger that.
Oh, it's Illyri.
Alpha, this is actual over.
Oh, that's fucking great.
This is Alpha, how copy?
Where the fuck is Illyri at out here?
Alpha is actual, just bearing 088 over.
Wait, this is 095, so could be somewhere
Bearing,
direct fucking east of them.
088.
I'll leave
Oh,
that
okay, he's
movement
rolling
was
up
one
on
of
me.
the instructors, to be honest.
Say again.
I was sitting here like, how in the fuck are they seeing movement?
Technical was one of the instructors.
Yeah, it was me.
Alpha is actual passing Fig's line
think
red.
usually
Go ahead
those
and have
suspects.
rifles up, low ready.
Rifles up. Good copy. Over. Out.
It should be lower. Press C. Shouldn't it be facing all the way up?
At least he didn't say over and out. He fucking said
Rifles down,
over
sorry.
and...
Play that. Rifles
Yeah.
down.
Thought he was supposed to say out, which he wasn't, but... Yeah, at least they fucking spotted him. Weapon, I don't know if they use CRAM or if it's still CWiz. I don't actually have any idea. Sure, I could ask one of the fucking guys we have in the unit that are in the Navy, but... No, over-out doesn't get fucking mortars. I do not music. I don't watch any football on TV. I fucking hate watching football on TV. It's so goddamn boring. Mostly because I hate commercials. Like, I don't watch any goddamn commercials.
Alpha, where are you going? Don't be following the arrow. Stick to the bearing 088, over.
Copy, readjusting.
Rugby's where it's at.
Alpha's actually outside that rock wall formation right there, over.
Using the M4, right?
Stop at this rock wall, and yes.
Get security out to the north side, stay on the south side of that rock wall formation, over.
Security to the north side.
Oh, that became a clusterfuck.
Security set. Security set, over.
Reset. Alright, roger. Alpha, continue movement bearing 124 for about 150 more meters, over.
Squad moving, 124. Wedge.
High-speed attack battleships that have CRAMs. Nice. That fucking, have you guys seen that video of the fucking,
you guys stop at the checker
aircraft,
flag,
yeah,
Stop at the
aircraft
checker
destroyer.
flag.
Fucking aircraft carrier doing the fucking rudder test and shit, doing those super tight turns and shit. That's fucking badass.
Security to the northeast side.
Rewind plays so we can
Defines route.
fast forward commercials. Nice. I guess that's one way to fucking do it.
We're gonna set up a danger crossing. Team 2, you're gonna be our close side.
Yeah, not when you're on board, yeah.
Roger.
What I want to know is when they do those tight turns like that with the carriers, how in the fuck do they secure all those planes, man?
Team 2 movement.
Like, that's a lot of weight being thrown around inside those hangars. Yeah, good job trying to fucking cross the road. Open the gap up. Come on, space it out. Keep spacing it.
Fish is set. Team 2 set.
Good copy.
Yeah, I figured it was chains that they use. It's just, like, that's some high quality fucking chain work, man. To hold that shit down like that, fuck. Why the fuck are they, like, running shoulder to shoulder?
Lanti set.
Tosco set. Crossing set.
Roger, Alpha. Alpha, this is actual. Go ahead and resume movement
Crossing
bearing
last
073. Stop at the checker flag. Perform a long haul break. 12 o'clock position facing towards 073, over.
Team 2 crossing.
Last man. Alpha, this is actual, over.
also set up the fucking saw on the far side,
Alpha
which
Cent traffic.
makes exactly zero goddamn sense.
Resume your movement bearing 078 towards the checkered flag break. Form a long halt position, 12 o'clock, facing towards 076, over.
Anti-ship missile being tested on the ship that they decommissioned? I have not seen that. Stop fucking staring at guys with your goddamn rifle. Jesus.
We're moving out.
Alpha's actually hold there, form a 12 o'clock position, face towards east, over.
We're setting a 12 o'clock position. Bravo team to our 10 o'clock.
Every time he gets an order to fucking stop, he stops and then starts fucking telling the other guys what to do. So everybody's fucking whamming into the back of him.
You're setting up right where I'm at. I will PT you all until you fucking die! Sounds good.
Liquid Yogi should be hopping on here as Mike here in a moment.
You're too close. Can you see anything down there in that defilade? You see anything?
Oh, nice, Aaron.
Yes, Sergeant.
Picking one Irishman over another. Well, that's if Yogi shows up. I don't know where the fuck he's at. He asked if he could be Mike in the stream earlier. But he's not here.
Actual, this is Alpha. Position set. 12 o'clock to northeast.
Alpha's action, roger, out. Alpha, is this actual, over.
This is actual, send traffic.
Probably drinking a little. No,
Go
no
and
one
take us out,
fucking.
bearing
Yogi's probably
085
sleeping a little.
towards right checkered flag, crossing distance 100 meters, over.
Moving 085. Form wedge on the move.
Yeah, very moving.
2-2 movement.
Christ, these guys fucking bounce around and look back and forth like they got fucking Tourette's or something.
085. Or hold your movement.
Sure stop.
Alright, now come over here now.
Alright, fall in front of me. Alright. How'd you guys think that went?
Well, except my movement. I gotta fix that, sorry.
Well,
Like a
except
20-year-old bike for Sergeant.
well, except your movement. Well, considering the entire course is known as the movement course, I would say that's a pretty big fucking issue, wouldn't it?
Yes, Sergeant.
Last time I checked, there was a fucking 1 in front of that SG.
First Sergeant, sorry.
Alright, well, you pretty much hit the fucking nail on the head, because you look like geriatric porn out there, slow and sloppy as fuck. When you're told to move, you don't just start moving and then radio your guys that, hey, we're moving. Alright? Tell them beforehand, otherwise you end up out there alone with your dick in the wind. Same goes for when you stop. When you get the order from higher to stop, you don't just stop and then start radioing your guys, hey, we're short halting. Because that makes them run into the back of you. Then you're all fucking bunched up, and everybody ends up getting taken out by one fucking mortar or a single frag grenade. Alright? If you get the order to stop, you continue moving until you relay the order down to your guys, hey, short halt, and then you stop. Now, when you're moving around, and you have your weapon at the ready. You don't fucking look around to see what the guy next to you is doing. He's doing his fucking job, hopefully. But you sure as shit don't spin your entire body around and point your rifle at your buddy's head to see if he's looking the correct direction. Right, that's known as flagging. Never flag a friendly. You don't ever point your fucking rifle barrel at a friendly. If you need to look over and see your buddy, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard. That's the one right next to your fucking spacebar. And then you can look around. Don't point your fucking rifle at your buddy to see what he's doing. When you guys set up that danger crossing back there, why was the team leader in the AR on the far side? What was the thought process there?
That was a mistake on my end, First Sergeant.
I didn't ask if it was a mistake. I know it's a fucking mistake. I asked what the thought process was. Why did you choose to put yourself and the AR on the far side?
I was just trying to move them across, and it was a mistake. I don't know. Just thought to put them there first, and then set myself up, and then have them cross over me.
Alright. Now, why that's a mistake? Not trying to fucking bust your balls or make you feel like a dumbass. Why that's a mistake? What is your biggest casualty producing weapon?
They are.
AR. Alright, so if you're setting up security, you want to make sure your guys are as safe as possible when they go to cross that road. Best way of doing that? Setting up the biggest fucking weapon you have first. So since you're the AR's buddy, that means you and him get set up on the near side first. That way if shit does go down before they cross or while they're crossing, your biggest weapon system is there to cover them. Make sense?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Now once you guys cross the road, you were fucking bumbling back and forth running into each other like you were fucking held by a magnetic field. Space yourselves out. You do not ever want to be that close to each other in an open environment like that. The only time you want to be that close to somebody is if you're breaching fucking rooms together. Otherwise, space yourself out. Same goes for when you actually set up security on the road. Open your gap up in between you and the other guy on your side of the road nice and fucking wide. And make sure that gap is wide enough for a fire team or an entire squad to move through there in formation. Right? Because if, say, we're moving the entire task force through there, your squad is going to be set up on the near side of the road. You're going to push one fire team up there, so you're alpha. You get pushed up to set up security for the danger crossing for the entirety of the task force. So you got to essentially think of that as you holding the door open for the rest of the task force. Rest of the task force got a fat ass, so make sure you open that door nice and wide. Get up there, set up security, let everybody go through. Then the other fire team from your squad and your squad leader and medic go through. They'll call last man, and then you're good to go. Alright, make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Sergeant Smith, anything to touch on?
Once orders are given to you, make sure you actually going towards the right bearing. I gave you the bearing 073, you're supposed to be going straight towards these rocks over here by the checkered flag.
Yeah, Kyle, it would be nice if player models could be different as far as height and size and everything like that. It's really fucking annoying that they're not, but, you know, is what it is. There are definitely much bigger issues with ArmA.
Then you say, alright, Alpha, removing bearing, yada yada yada, for this amount of distance. And then if I told you we're stopping at checkered flag, you tell them stop at checkered flag. Then you start moving.
Why the fuck is Smith all of a sudden so goddamn quiet?
So that's for everybody. Make sure you do that whenever you're team leading. And then react to orders. Make sure you react to it quicker. I had to wait for a while for you guys to start moving, then you just bundled up on my location after I told you to recover. Then start moving.
Sergeant Smith, go and yell. I can't hear you over here.
My apologies. You guys hear the whole thing I was saying?
I was tracking, Sergeant.
Okay, awesome. Alright, and that's it for me. Thank you, First Sergeant.
Alright, thanks, Sergeant. Alright, gentlemen. Next thing we're going to be going over is maneuver techniques. Now, as I told you guys earlier, there is a difference between movement and maneuver. Alright, so one of the biggest maneuver techniques that we will use, known as bounding overwatch, or generally just referred to as bounding. We only do bounding overwatch pretty much because we do bounding when we're engaged. So there are two different types of bounding overwatch. There's alternating bounding and successive bounding. Now the way that works is, if you imagine, say, a squad in a skirmish line. Okay, you have Alpha on the left, Bravo on the right. If you were going to do alternating bounding, squad leader would call down, alright, alternating bounding, Alpha, you're going first. Then Alpha would call over to Bravo, say, and ask if they're set. Bravo would respond back, set, covering. Then Alpha would call bounding, and they would run up to the next piece of available cover. Once they get up to that piece of cover, and they have their rifles pointed downrange, ready to engage any possible targets, they would then radio Bravo, call set, covering. And then Bravo would call bounding, and they'd move up past them to the next piece of available cover. So essentially they would leapfrog them. And that process goes on back and forth until you cover the ground that you need to cover. Now successive bounding starts off the exact same way. One element calls set covering, the other element calls bounding, push up to the next available piece of cover. However, where it changes is when that second team goes to bound, instead of moving past the first team, they move up online with them, or as close as they can to being online with them. So they essentially recreate the skirmish line. So alternating bounding, you cover a lot more ground in a shorter amount of time, but it is more dangerous because you're out in the open longer. You're covering a bigger distance. Successive bounding, slower, but safer. You're not out in the open as long. Alright, so whether or not you are heavily engaged, so on and so forth, is going to determine whether you're going to use alternating bounding or successive bounding. Your terrain is also going to dictate whether you use alternating bounding or successive bounding. Because if you're bounding and 15 meters out there farther, there's a good piece of solid cover, then you're going to keep running. Alright, you're not going to get online with the guys, with the other element next to you, if there's good solid cover a little bit ahead of them. So you're going to, if you were supposed to be successive bounding, you're going to switch it up to alternating bounding to get up to that next piece of cover. That being said, if no piece of cover is available, then that's where we use something known as a 3-second rush. Alright, a 3-second rush, like I said, is used when there's no cover or concealment available. You're out in an open field. You're going to essentially break from whatever cover you're at, run your fucking ass off for 3 seconds, and then you're going to hit the deck. Once it's time to move again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pop up, run your ass off for 3 seconds, and hit the deck. Now the way you get that 3 seconds is memorizing a phrase and saying it in your head. That phrase is, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. Alright, that'll give you roughly 3 seconds. When you pop up, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, you hit the deck. And does anybody have a guess as to why the time frame is 3 seconds?
That's the average time it takes for a man to see and then point a rifle at someone.
Pretty much exactly. 3 seconds is the average time it takes someone to engage a human-sized target. So if you get up, run, and drop within that 3 seconds, they're most likely not going to be able to put rounds on target accurately. Doesn't mean they're not going to shoot at you. Just means they're not going to be as accurate. But again, this is only if there is no cover available. If you have to run another 15 meters and you can get to cover, then run the extra 15 meters. Don't put your dick in the dirt when you can close that distance within a matter of a couple seconds and get behind solid cover rather than laying out there in a fucking field. Alright, is everybody tracking on that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Does everybody understand the difference between successive and alternating bounding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Now, bounding can be used with any size element. It can be used within a fire team, squad, platoon, company, so on and so forth. Now, the way it works for a fire team, you still have 2 elements. You have your 2 buddy teams, so that's your 2 elements. Now, luckily, in fire team bounding, you don't have to deal with relaying information on SquadNet and TeamNet. You don't have to say on SquadNet we're bounding and then go to your team and say we're bounding and then start moving. So it's a lot quicker process when it's team bounding as opposed to squad or platoon and so on. Alright, so the way it works at a team level, you have your team leader and your AR in one element, your grenadier and your rifleman in the other element. One element calls set covering, team leader and automatic rifleman or whoever, and then the other element will call bounding, and then they'll get up and start running. Notice I said they call bounding, and then they get up and start running. Just like anything else, you verbalize your action before you fucking do it. You do not start running and get 5-10 meters out there into the field and then call bounding. It kind of defeats the fucking purpose. Same goes for when you call set covering. Notice that set covering are 2 different fucking words. So when you call set covering, that means you have accomplished 2 things. You have set up behind cover, and your rifles are downrange ready to engage. You do not call set covering as soon as you hit the fucking wall and you're still fumble fucking around trying to figure out what sector you're going to cover, who's going to take what corner, so on and so forth. That does not mean you're set covering. It means you're set. When you're set covering, that means your rifles are pointed down range. If a target pops up, you're going to dome the motherfucker before he can shoot your buddies that are getting ready to start running. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. What we're going to do next is you guys are going to line up on these fucking walls back here, or up ahead of you. One buddy team is going to be on the left side of walls. One buddy team is going to be on the right side of the walls. You guys are going to communicate to each other via TeamNet who's set and covering, who's bounding. Your objective is to get down to the end of the course. Alright, does anybody have any questions on what you're about to do?
No,
First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Roger. At any point in time, Sergeant Smith, did you instruct these guys to load their weapons?
Negative. Stop.
Then can somebody explain to me why the fuck I have a hot weapons on my goddamn maneuver course? No? No guesses. Good, because I have no explanation for it either other than ignorance. Get your asses up on that wall and get ready to move.
Yes, First Sergeant.
The walls with the red arrows, gentlemen. Alright, now this is a dry run, so do not load your fucking weapons, but please do raise them as if you are covering a sector. Alright. Now it is on you guys to determine who is moving first and who is covering first. I will leave that up to you. Course is now live. Move at your fucking discretion.
Team 2, how copy?
Copy 5.
Team 2, you're going to move up to your barricade first. Your wall.
Roger, Team 2 moving. Team 2 covering.
This is Alpha, we're moving.
Roger.
Alright guys, I will be right back. I'm going to take a quick piss.
Alpha is set.
Team 2 moving.
Thank you.
Team 2 set.
Too funny.
This is Alpha, we're moving.
Roger.
Covering set. This is Alpha. Out.
Team 2 set.
This is Alpha, we're moving.
Roger.
is Alpha. We're set.
Two moving. You have to move up past them.
Two set.
Stand by. We're moving up.
By the way, guys, don't remember to treat second row, so to say.
This is Alpha. We're set.
Two moving. Two set.
Regroup at the barricade.
All right, we are back. Let's get back down here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my sprint to work again.
All right, everybody hear me clearly.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right. Sergeant Smith,
First Sergeant.
any critiques to make on their bounding?
Nothing from what I see. From what I've seen. Sergeant Blue, if you had anything, did you see anything, or and Sergeant O'Leary? Sergeant Kula?
Yes, thank you, Sergeant. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. It's good to know what happened with this team over here on your guys' left. They ran into a spot where they fell way behind your team, just in the case that this bounding course was set up. It would have been a better idea to have them move up first. Back there, I don't know if you can see back there, if you turn your heads around, there's two of these walls that are lined up like this, next to each other. And then right after them, in the next set of walls, they're split up for alternative bounding. What should have happened was the team on the right, this team over here, with Tosco and Lantier, should have moved up first. That way, they can continue the 3 second, about 3 second move and cover. That was the only really thing that went off. Your comms did good. Don't forget to say set and covering. Another thing you guys did pretty good at was you guys did not say set and covering before you were ready. I don't want to hear set covering when your weapon's still down at the ground or you're still running, moving up to your position, and that counts for both the members of your team. So you guys did pretty good, pretty decent job of that, of saying, waiting until both your rifles were downrange, putting bullets on target. Fisher, do you have a question?
Yes, Sergeant. Only question I had was at the big opening back there when one of the walls was missing. Should we run to the next wall and extend our run, or should we still have the 3 second rule?
That's the difference between bounding and successive Overwatch. back down at the beginning, you guys were
Hey, overcooked.
moving up at the same level. The team in the rear was coming up to the same position, the same. If you imagine a line, horizontal line between you two guys, two teams, then you guys are moving up to the same line. Then down here at this form, this way of bounding, the team in the rear was moving up to past the team who was covering, instead of moving up to their position.
What Sergeant Kulov is trying to say is that you guys switched from successive bounding to alternating bounding in the middle of this course. However, you failed to realize that and fucked up your movement because of it.
Yes, thank you, Top.
Thank you, Sergeant Officer.
Alright. Last maneuver technique we're going to go over is something known as peeling. Now, peeling is generally a way to move horizontally. So if you think of bounding as a way to move vertically, peeling is a way to move horizontally. Now, you'll sometimes hear guys say that they're peeling back, which is fine, but just keep it as bounding is moving vertically, peeling is moving horizontally. All right, so when you're peeling is a way to move essentially down a skirmish line. So you guys currently have a skirmish line set up. If the team leader calls to peel left, then that means the entirety of your skirmish line needs to move left of where you are. So you're going to move from where you are left to some better cover or better concealment or whatever. So if you're moving left, the guy on the extreme right of the skirmish line needs to move first. He's the farthest away from the point, so he needs to move first. So in that event, team leader calls peel left. The guy on the extreme right of the skirmish line is going to call peeling. He'll get up and run behind the skirmish line. When he gets behind the guy to his immediate left, just like with a danger crossing, he'll call last man. So now that guy knows he is now the extreme right flank of that skirmish line that is moving left. As soon as he hears last man, again, just like a danger crossing, he gets up and starts moving. It doesn't matter if that first guy has reached the left end of the skirmish line yet. As soon as he hears last man, he's going to call peeling, get up, and start running behind the guy that just passed behind him. When he gets to the guy to his left, he's going to call last man. So on and so forth, all the way down the line. Now the first guy that started moving, once he gets down to the extreme left of the skirmish line, with proper spacing, he's going to set up and start covering. So when he gets down there, just like with bounding, he's going to call set covering. And everybody else is going to file in to his left until he is now the extreme right of the skirmish line again. And then you go through it all over again until you get to wherever it is you need to go. Alright, so it's essentially, like I said, it's a way to move horizontally, but it's basically alternating bounding, but moving laterally rather than vertically. Alright, everybody tracking on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright, so we're going to try it out now. Alright, so Tasco, you're going to give the order to peel left. You guys are going to peel left until I tell you to stop fucking peeling. Alright, at your discretion, make it happen.
Squad, peel left.
You're not a squad, you are a fire team. Stop.
Fire team.
How many people are in a squad?
8.
No.
Sorry, sir.
There you go.
Sergeant.
How many people are in a fire team?
4.
So you are a...
Fire team.
Do not make that fucking mistake again. Now, move at your discretion.
Fire team, pull left. Peel left.
Lingor moving.
You don't call moving, you call peeling, and you did not call last man. Now you just left your buddy out there with his dick in the air. Whoever's on the extreme left now, go.
Set cover.
Last man.
He called last man, why are you not moving?
Lati.
Oscar move. Last man.
Number healing. Last man.
You
Don't forget
call
to-
last man when you're up here. You call last man when you cross the person to your immediate left. You don't call last man when you're all the way down here.
Yes, Sergeant.
Finish moving.
Space it out more. I said proper spacing. Forget all getting hit by one fucking frag. I could damn near hit all of you with my dick. Space it out more.
Oscar movement. Last man.
Don't call last man over radio, tell to the person.
Last man.
Fish moving.
Alright, Fisher, you're the last one.
Last man. And last one.
Fish is set.
Alright. Since a manure salesman probably hasn't even seen that big of a shit show in his life, we're going to do that again, but in opposite. So now you guys are going to peel right. At your discretion, move.
Fire team, peel right.
Fish peel right.
Very last man.
Dillberry peeling right.
Last man.
I don't move until he.
You move as soon as he calls last man.
Yes, sir.
I am not a fucking sir.
First sergeant.
Oscar move.
Last man.
Monty peeling right.
Alright, hold.
Land here. Land here.
Yes.
Hold. Come back over here.
Just stand right there. You're fine right fucking there. Alright. You guys still hear me alright?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, first sergeant.
Alright. So, you guys are creating a new skirmish line, right? Sergeant Akulov, who is that there with the AT-4 on his back?
That is, Little Barry. Private Little Barry.
Little Barry, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, first sergeant.
Tell me exactly how you would engage me if I was a target.
I would have to turn around, first sergeant.
You'd have to turn around. I would hope not, considering I'm at your fucking 10 o'clock. If you turn around, you're going to be shooting Sergeant Yogi or Sergeant O'Leary.
Yes, first sergeant. I meant I would have to turn towards you.
Correct, you have to turn towards me. Sergeant Akulov, who is that with a thumper on the left end?
That would be, Private Fisher.
Private Fisher, do you feel comfortable with him turning and shooting at me given your current position?
No, first sergeant.
Why is that?
You will shoot me in the ass, first sergeant.
Well, he's not quite that far behind you, but he might shoot you in the side of your fucking head. Now, does anybody have a guess as to why he would possibly shoot him in the side of the fucking head?
Little Barry is technically behind him, starting a new line.
Exactly. A skirmish line means you guys are on line with each other. Kind of defeats the fucking purpose if you're back behind the rest of your team. It puts you all at a disadvantage. Situational awareness, gentlemen. It will fuck you every time. Alright. I'm not standing out in this open fucking field all goddamn day holding your guys' hand. So, we're going to step this up and see if you guys perform any better under pressure. So we're going to head over to live fire course to see what you guys actually do when bullets are flying. So, recover. Recover means stand the fuck up and get up here in front of me. Alright, from here, we're going to head over to the live fire bounding course. As I said, bullets are going to be flying. You guys are going to be engaging. You're going to be getting engaged. Alright? You're going to have an actual and a mic with you. If at any point in time one of you go down, you need to call for Mike on SquadNet. Team leader, that's your responsibility. The team leader goes down, it's the responsibility of the 2IC to get up on fucking SquadNet and let the squad leader and the Mike know that the team lead is down and you need Mike on your pause. Mike is your medic. Okay? All medics are known as Mike. Does anybody have any questions?
No, for Sergeant.
Never, Sergeant.
No, for Sergeant.
Never, sir.
Alright. And move over to this second flag here. It's the blue one. Use a scroll wheel, go to the Bounding Overwatch course. Alright, follow me. Oh yeah. Still doing fucking dry runs, Caldwell. Been a fun day so far. Alright. Now at the other end of this course is a set of flags. Your objective is to reach those flags. That being said, we have very high standards here within the cadre for OSUT. I have the highest standards of all. If you guys think I've been an asshole thus far, I promise you this is me being fucking nice. Now at the end of the day, when we critique your guys' performance, at no time is it personal. I give exactly 0 fucks about any personal feelings. This is about the job at hand, and my job is to train you guys properly. Because ultimately, when you get positioned into your final billet, and you get to your fire team, if you fuck up and get your entire team killed, that's my fault, because I'm the one that trained you. So when we get to the end of this course, don't expect to get a bunch of pats on the back. My name is not Willy Wonka, I do not sugarcoat shit, and I am not here to coddle fuck you. I am here to point out your fuck-ups. So when we get down there, and you guys fuck up, and I call out your mistakes on it, understand that it is not personal. It is us pointing out your flaws so that you can unfuck them. Is that understood?
Yes,
Yes,
Sergeant.
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 Alright. Get yourselves up against this set of Hescos behind me. I'm going to give you about a mic to come up with a little bit of a game plan as to how you're going to move down to that other end. Alright, so get yourselves up behind cover.
Alright. You guys ready?
Yes.
I think we'll start with our automatic rifleman in the front. And we'll work our way. Let's see here. What we got.
Don't put him in the front. Just work with same body teams.
I was
for overview, and because he's the AR, let him stay on the back. You two, we will push. You follow. Same as.
Alright, so yeah, we can do bounding from there. When we'll start, I guess with me and Tier, we'll start here, and then when you guys are ready, when they're ready, send us in. We'll send you guys in first. And
Hey, Tasco, we should actually start way down there. This is actually the middle spot, so they should probably start here. We'll start more.
Yeah, so we'll have the left cover.
Yeah, well, left, right. We can start here and move to the middle.
And please remember, call set cover when you have the rifles up and pointing down, so we know where to move. God.
Alright, we're gonna move over.
This is Smith, recheck FHQ 3-1 over.
Are we moving over
This
these?
is L4, region limit Charlie 3-1 over.
Yeah, they all become Sun Zero all of a sudden.
We drove up here.
Let's go.
Oh, I don't want to take this last Vic, so this is the first section Vic or not.
Yeah, I'm loading my gun.
I'm gonna kiss for S for this one.
By the way, Control V climb on stuff.
Smith, aren't you
Okay, hey, press
actual?
Go ahead and take point.
No, I don't know. I'm gonna take the Vic up to you guys.
Well, I thought Smith. I thought Brewer said that you are actual on the ground leading the squad, or the fire team, rather.
No, that was for
I'm running them.
Yeah, that was for the movement course.
So we're alternating bombing between each other?
Alright, well, there's
kind of.
Larry and Akula are already up here.
Peek in the corner right now. You just run around me.
Toppy, mind if I take this Vic?
And then
I immediately follow you.
Well, considering you're already in it and driving, go ahead. And the next time one of you refers to me by simply my last name, it will be the last time you ever feel your asshole as tight as it currently is.
Let me know when you're ready.
Team 2 ready.
As far as I can see,
Actually, this is Alpha. We are ready when you are.
it's really hard to see the entire course, but like the beginning of this.
You see that barrier over there?
We haven't been told.
I don't see shit.
That one?
Yeah.
What would I say? Interrogative.
Alright, let's move to that one.
Yeah, interrogative. Do we load our weapons? Or whatever. I don't know. Is it kitchen mission 1? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Actual, this is Alpha. Interrogative. Do we load our ammo yet?
Alpha, this is actual. Be advised, I will inform you when to load your weapons over.
Oh shit.
Good copy.
Alright, there's your answer.
There you go.
So you guys got a pretty good view of the course?
Yes, First Sergeant.
That's outstanding. I would like to know how, since I never was seen a single one of you move from behind these Hescos.
We were allowed to leave the Hescos? Oh shit.
Well, if you got a good view of the course, that would either mean one of two things. Either you moved out from behind the Hescos, or you abused the usage of third person and looked over the top of the Hescos. And since I know from the game mechanics that each and every one of you are only 6 foot tall, I know goddamn well you can't see over the top of them without abusing the use of third person. So, the simple answer to my question is, no, First Sergeant, we do not have a full view of the course. Everybody understand that?
Yes,
First Sergeant.
Alright, load your weapons and stand by to stand by.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright, let me know when you guys are ready up there.
Roger, give us about 3 mics over.
Roger.
Remember to watch the 9 position. I'll watch 12.
Team 2.
Go.
Do you see that tree? Those
Yeah,
trees
CG, that's the way it always works.
bearing to our north?
Yeah, exactly, Sphero. What? No, I was looking the whole time.
That's going to be a sort of a checkpoint for us. Once we get to that point, we'll sort of readdress where we're at. Because I don't really have a good look past that hill there.
Roger.
Well, Caldwell, it's not even so much that it's easier than it used to be. It's more so that it's more fucking informed than what it used to be. Like, it's way more goddamn informed than
Also,
what it was when we went
went
through OSUT. Like, if they didn't explain shit back then.
To move up to that house
Like,
there.
they did a little bit, but
So,
nowhere
once we get to that
near in
last
as much
barricade,
detail
we're
as
gonna
what we
work
do
from
now.
there.
Copy, we'll communicate in the intel waste room anyway.
I don't know if we're gonna have to go through that building or not, but I'm gonna guess we're gonna have to.
Yeah, agreed.
So I hope you know enough about CQC.
No, we're good, dude. Right. I got you. When it comes to shooting, yeah. I don't know what was wrong with my fucking controls.
You gotta go through the building if you choose to go through the fucking building. It's out there as cover. Your goal is to get to the flag.
Thank you, First Sergeant. Throw a frag in there, if anything. You have a nice handy-dandy grenade launcher, too, so...
Yep.
Yeah, the fucking nav course was back then was fucking retarded. It's like, what purpose does this serve? Like, I understand, you know, guys know how to read a map. Then let's teach them how to read a fucking map. You don't need to be able to figure out,
You're ready to do it.
you know, exactly where you're at on the map, considering everyone carries a fucking micro dagger and GPS.
Safety's off.
Like, it's completely pointless.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
First Sergeant, this is Kulov. Do you copy on frequency 3-1 over?
Actually, safety on until
Yeah.
hit contact.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Stand by. Getting ready.
you know.
We'll be asking Mike here in about 10 Sierra.
Yeah, when I saw you had the automatic rifle, I was like, oh, I'm putting him right next to me.
Affirm.
Alpha, this is actual.
This is Alpha. Send traffic. Over.
Alpha, this is actual. Be advised, we are Oscar Mike. Move at your discretion. Over.
Good copy. Out. Team 2. We're Oscar Mike. Stand by.
Roger.
watch yourself.
Apparently I need to go
We are
over
set.
who's the
Begin
one to
mounting.
say out again.
Team 2 moving.
Where they
Hit a
come
berry,
from?
guys on the right.
You see it?
Yes, let me set up right next to you so we're an easier target.
Stand by. We have a sniper. We're taking rounds.
Sniper. We don't know if it's a sniper yet.
We're
Then
taking
tell him to
contact
fucking suppress.
to the hill.
Baron.
They're set, so we're gonna go ahead and start moving.
Providing cover and fire.
Moving.
They knew their position was fixed. They were already being
Alright,
engaged.
bearing
Didn't bother to use
320.
any smoke.
Enemy machine gun. Distance about 600 meters.
At least they're calling out targets.
Copy, guys on.
Automatic rifle.
And
will
half the
start
time they don't even do
suppressing.
that. We got them over here playing fucking whack-a-mole.
Don't forget we have smoke as well, guys.
Good copy.
Nobody's putting rounds down range. Oh, there he goes,
Team 1,
finally.
you're set.
We're set. Go.
Team 2 is taking heavy fire. Smoking first. Smoke.
Move your ass over to this end. Move over here. At least they...
Team 2 moving.
Stay behind there.
That was a nice RPG.
Bond, careful those RPG guys.
At least they didn't put the smoke in front of their fucking covering element.
Team 2
That's
setting
always a
cover.
plus.
Still taking heavy fire from the hatchery.
What in the fuck is that goddamn rate of fire?
Ready to move?
Contact sniper in the tower, middle tower.
That wasn't even the saw fucking firing. That was fucking jackass with the M4. What happens when they run out of ammo? They get
Stand
fucked.
by, Team 1. Or Team 2.
Roger.
We're set.
We're pinned. Stand by.
Deploy smokes.
Cover. You're pinned from where? What direction?
Still that, second tower.
340.
Okay.
340. Smoke out.
That was a nice set of grenades.
Alright, Team 2 moving.
No, they aren't asking Yogi for shit because they aren't getting anything extra.
set.
I like how Yogi's just fucking hanging out. Like, yeah.
Stand by.
Typical Sunday.
Start suppressing, we're moving, bounding now.
Yeah, they're suppressing real good through that smoke. Tell them you're fucking wounded and put rounds down range. They are not conserving their ammo at all.
Take anchor fire from machine gun at
Team 2, stand by.
335.
Medical.
Reload. Roger. MG at 335.
Team's out. Alpha's green.
Now the funny thing is, these guys aren't invincible like they normally are. And they have still yet to injure them. And they're taking it super fucking easy on them.
Team 2, I need you to deploy smokes and move up a little bit to that broken building there.
I can't, if I was down, I'm benching myself at the moment.
Yeah, Caldwell, all it is the
Roger.
scripting got screwed up with the last update, so it's just gotta be updated to make them invincible again, but still it's the fact that they're not invincible right now, and they haven't done anything to them.
Contact bearing 340.
The Zeus cannon has to actually be moved, because it doesn't fucking... The Zeus cannon doesn't have an angle to fire down them. What the hell happened to that turret? Fucking weird.
Team 2, it's your time now. They're bandaging.
I think that's a turret that's supposed to be
Deploy
there.
smokes, move up.
No, they're not bandaging. They're simply reloading and waiting for you to pop out into the open.
Team 2 moving.
Yeah, I'll move it for like bigger classes, like when we got a full squad, then I'll move it, because then if, you know, 3-4 guys go down, it's not a huge fucking deal.
Team 2
Yes.
set at the building.
Go ahead and pop out around that corner that's just constantly being
Stand
shot
by.
at.
Automatic rifle reloading.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good, I'm good.
There you go. Yep, start shooting again.
350.
Just move. What just moved? I don't see anything moving.
Team 2, get ready. We're moving up.
Team 2 ready.
Have they hit any of you yet?
No, but they're wasting ammo.
Affirm, they've hit me a few times. They hit me once.
Well, I guess even blind pigs find a truffle.
Reloading. Are you all okay over there?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Receiving fucking MG fire from the furthest right tower or bunker. Furthest one to the right.
I'm trying to look for him. Shit. Taking accurate fire over there.
Contact bearing 355.
Oh, he's lucky he woke
2
up.
targets.
Yeah, Yogi gives no fuck because he knows that brown backpack means they're not going to engage. Not on purpose, anyways.
They sure love this.
Alright, you're gonna need to move up, Team 2.
Man, he
You
just
have a
got
good
smoked in
location.
the face.
That's a GMG. I just don't know where the GMG is.
Nobody's moving.
Need a
Nobody's
mic
calling
at
out
our
the
position.
wounded. Oh, there he goes. Finally called it out. He
Team
only
one
looked at
is
his
set.
ass like 12 times
Waiting
before
for
he
you.
called him.
We
He
need
said
a
he
medic
needs a
at our
mic.
position. Fisher is down.
Good copy.
See one.
Black's moving.
Run, Yogi, run!
Oh. Keep shooting. Damn it, alright. Alpha's down at the moment.
Keep shooting for what? The fuck are you accomplishing? They're not moving. They're not covering you. Why fucking put yourself up there and start engaging? Get back behind fucking cover. So he's gonna move right up to the pretty much the exact same spot where he just got fucking smoked. Oh, Dova, fire team can get this through this no fucking problem if they do it properly.
Rocket. You guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
Team 2 good.
Fucking instructors are laying down better suppression fire than they are by a long ways.
Yeah, you got smokes? Okay, good.
See if they wait for the smoke to plume.
At the bunker, furthest right bunker.
Roger that.
At least they're waiting for the smoke. Why they're bothering to shoot right now, I don't know.
Reloading.
Team 2 moving.
Yeah, Vert, we've seen some of that as well. Like on this template specifically. Shit that's just moved for some reason.
They're stagnant as fuck.
Are you alright?
Say it again.
Yep, and looks like team on the right, your guys' left, is now ran out of yellow smoke, so be prepared to see a red.
Are you guys set?
Team 2 set.
Oh, there's one run open field and I missed it.
Deploying smoke. Oh, fuck.
Littleberry, get to the left. Get to the left, Littleberry.
Ty, they have a thumper they can use, but AT4 no. AT4 is an anti-tank weapon. It's not used on
There's one in front of the green smoke, about 50 meters, laying
the
behind a
heat
rock.
rocket, not HEDP or HE.
Not ready.
Are they still up or down? I can't even tell.
Rock's a decent place to move to when you're stuck out like that.
Sergeant Yogi, you got one that's trying to move towards you.
Your buddies are stuck out there in the open, so you throw smoke to fucking cover yourself.
Alright, team 2 ready, but become cover.
I'm gonna go find him. Please don't shoot me.
He's to the
He's
far
awake.
right.
Team 2, you still there?
Team 2's good.
You set?
Alright.
Yeah, we're set.
We're moving.
There's one shit fucking position. And he said they're set. He didn't say they were covering it.
We still have AT?
Oh, please be dumb enough to shoot that fucking stick of AT on my fucking bounding course. There has only ever been one person stupid enough to fire a fucking AT4 on my bounding course.
Who's got my AT?
They're running low on max right now.
Oh, I'm fucking sure they are. They've thrown enough. Fuck no. They've thrown enough fucking ammo to think they're fighting a goddamn platoon, and they still have yet to knock out a single person.
We need to. Oh, okay, I see you guys.
You're set?
We're set.
Be advised. Yeah, for Sergeant. I made us invincible so we could provide better suppressing fire.
They've hit quite a few.
Don't see anyone though.
Oh, well, goddamn.
Watch
I
your
guess we
six,
did
so
get
not
lucky.
seeing contacts. Keep an eye out all directions.
Raj. Team 2 set.
Oh, I'm sure they're getting close to being empty on ammo. They're fucking usual firing at shit where there isn't even a target.
Alright,
he's shooting over here. There's a machine gun firing over here.
Put an AT about
Like, how do you not see
meters or
the green tracers?
Check with your binocs.
Second bunker from the left.
Yep, top the second story. Got a rocket right on that AT gunner.
Yeah. This will be only the second person to ever be dumb enough to fire a fucking AT rocket on my bounding course.
Alright, we'll hold on from that.
Is it the third?
I'm pretty sure it's the third.
Either way, it's not a good club to be in.
Alright, smoke is out. Stand by.
Stand by for covering.
And he didn't even fire it at the right target. And it went right through the fucking windows.
Didn't even hit anything.
Yeah, I think it went right over the top of the watchtower.
He forgot to range it. From now on, he'll be referred to as that guy.
Stand by, Team 2. We got to clear this building.
Oh, hell yeah, he just sat and watched. He knows not to stop him from being stupid.
Wait a minute.
Watch out. Accurate MG fire is still coming from that second bunker.
At least he dropped the fucking
We're
rocket.
black on AT.
Are they still behind that,
Black on
Eric,
AT
you seen that,
and
artillery?
red on ammo.
Can we get, how's our grenadier looking?
No, they're in the house.
Alright, I think I've been launching out stun grenade rounds.
We're about 400 meters, so you can start putting,
Yeah, every single one that has ever fired an AT-4 is wildly missed.
We do not have good cover next, so
Yeah, it's to eliminate a target, except it's the wrong fucking target. You ain't gonna eliminate shit with a heat round unless you hit them directly.
let's just start, keep moving. You guys are gonna need to bounce.
Copy that. Alright, Team 2 moving.
Running out in open field.
God damn it, AR is reloading.
Keep crawling.
Yeah, at least they know they're black on AT.
I'm reloaded. Got it.
They have still yet to fire the
That guy
thumper.
keeps poking his head out of the window over and over and over again.
You got some guys that are running out in open field towards your left flank.
I'm gonna make them shit themselves into the house.
Grenadier, you have smoke grenades, correct?
I think I hear the thumper going off now. Oh no, that was the instructors. Have you guys had any thumper rounds hit up there?
I'm hitting one around them.
Landseer's down. Stand by.
No, have they fired any at you?
Only one. And
RPG
that was
into
very
the
low.
Oh, they fired a few. I've been
Yeah, we're
watching
both very wounded.
Roger.
From they launched like maybe one or two, but they landed short.
Team 2 Fisher's down.
Your buddy is unconscious. And you're gonna sit there and patch yourself up first. Yeah, only one AT-4.
Mike's up.
Mike, you wanna go check out those guys in that house? I went full freedom mode with the AGA-30 on them.
Team 2, how copy?
Oh, someone just downed me, so fuck
Team
them
2's
all.
up.
Everyone's good? We need a medic over here.
Yeah, we're still
Landseer's
pretty
down.
Mike
Kill
was up.
smoke on our left side.
We're black on smoke.
Do you have your brand new
someone
smoke?
got limping in the window, so they're alive.
Should be good, Mike.
We can try putting a smoke on the enemy and just blinding them right.
Have I said anything on squad net yet?
No.
We're not ready to bound yet, so hold off on this.
Stop
I'm trying to get
downing
that
me, you fucks.
Medic, I'm gonna need you over on my position.
The one with the dark brown fucking backpack.
And what is your position right now, Alpha?
Where are you getting hit by? Bullets or
to your
grenade rounds?
There, 30 Sierra.
This is Trisha Black on ammo. Black on smokes for the
Mike's moving.
Mike's running across
That's
the field.
me. Yep, Mike's in the field. Yeah, I see you in your shit bag.
At least if nothing else, it can sometimes be entertaining. And this is somewhat what we're training on tonight. Not necessarily training just on fire and maneuver, but tonight's FTX is going to be all focused around react to ambush or react to contact, so kind of along the same lines. Weapon, yes and no. I've never needed to directly kick someone out. I gave them the choice, and they left. Later, Liquid.
Team 2, what's going on?
Need a medic, Fisher's down.
Oh, as far as make them redo it, yeah, I've made guys recycle.
Taking machine gun fire from the
Later,
left
Coach.
of the
Yeah, he's down again.
Alright, as soon as he's up, we gotta make a push. We cannot stay in these positions any longer.
Roger.
Just so everyone is aware, Yogi looks much like a ping pong ball, just going back and forth, back and forth.
Good copy. PT makes you sexy, bro. Not when you're a donkey. Well, at least you got something to be proud of.
Pretty good ass. Eventually they'll move. Probably not anytime soon, but eventually they'll move.
Right, Fisher, we gotta move. I get Fisher's up.
Chapel, thank you for the follow-up.
Alright, we need to get to that rock formation.
But did you
Got
die?
Well, all the rest of that cover is shit.
Also, Yogi, be advised, Caldwell wants me to relay a message from Qatar. He said you need the exercise.
What do you got? What's that pipe there?
That dirty bastard.
Got some logs and some cement blocks there.
That's where you guys are gonna need to go. We're gonna cover you. We're gonna suppress them in about 1 mic.
Once we get his head out, it's my guys.
And we will all.
He's all
guys are
never
gonna
do
push
that.
up there, deploy your last year smokes, whatever you got, and then we're gonna make
for all of us, showman. My AGS 30 around dry.
They just keep sitting inside that house.
I'm getting taken out every single time. I just knocked one out by mistake. I didn't mean to shoot him.
Well, by 1, it was actually 2. Congratulations. You got a twofer. That is the first time ever on this course for a rifle and not a grenade.
Well, when they line themselves up like bowling pins, I might as well knock them down, right?
Yep.
Is the medic over there? On Team 2?
They spin on and explode.
Stay up for a minute, I am running low on damages.
Luckily, this one's already exploded.
Goes down. What die.
I need you to move over.
Remember what I told you, Oogie.
Yeah, go ahead and slow it down. I don't feel like being out here until the fucking FTX starts.
Good copy.
Yeah, I need to resupply anyway. Mike's moving.
Littleberry, how are you doing in smokes?
Why did they both go to the same spot? Maybe they share a brain. That's all I can guess.
Hey, Mike, want me to grab some bandages for you? Oh, right.
Let's see here. We'll grab Yogi a resupply.
I pop some smoke. Come over here, Littleberry.
Oh crap.
God damn it.
Team 2, are you bounding?
Hey, firm. Team 2 set.
Yogi, backside of the house you're currently at, there is a resupply box.
Mike copies.
Red Mike.
I swear, they
Start laying
pop
fire
up
down
in the
with
same
whatever you
Oh
get out
crap.
of it.
AR is
Oh, AR
black on ammo.
is black on ammo.
box is bugged.
Roger, I'll fucking home make one.
That's the one part of my Mike Delmas hit me.
Start suppressing.
Can you show some back, please?
Pushing black and ammo.
You good?
I still got some rounds.
Come on. Reconnect, there we go. Let's see.
Someone's running by himself.
Yo.
I don't remember where the fuck medical supplies is at.
Yo, keep moving. Well, alright. Keep moving.
Who the fuck is Yo-Yo?
Was that you throwing orange smoke?
Wait, why am I looking at fucking...
Oh shit, the FTL set up demolitions. Oh, demolitions.
Reloading. What's your next position to move to?
Where the fuck is... Oh, there we go.
Team 2, next position would be the fucking crane. Popping red smoke on our position.
Red smoke.
Fuck.
Be advised, red smoke is our position.
Copy.
Did they call it up on squad?
Be advised,
Nope.
red smoke is friendly position.
Ah, damn it, they did.
I know how I feel.
They got it off just in time.
They're right next to the fuel tanks.
Cool. Alright, team 2 set.
Behind
Team
you.
2, say again.
Team 2
Two
set.
of them. Hold on.
Alright, let me know if it works now.
Thank you.
They're shooting right through this wall as well.
Move to the
The crane. Bulldozer thing.
Oh yeah, they have definitely ripped through way too much ammo.
I've used
solid.
100
Oh, you got
bandages, they
fucking-
broke the fucking record.
Team 1, move.
Oh, I guess they got something to be proud of.
And also, fuck the guy that shot me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You look healed to me.
Alright, team 2 suppressing, team 1 move.
We have no smokes. You have any smokes?
Negative, just move, we're suppressing time now. Reloading. Littleberry's down.
Your opinion on how long one fire team should be static for? As long as it takes the other fire team to get to a piece of cover. That's it.
Alright, we're moving.
I'm black on bandages, Littleberry's down. Throwing another red smoke.
Have they realized they got a man down?
Yeah, they call it on team, just not squad.
We're gonna bound again. We're gonna bound again. Our cover's shit.
Ow. My bad.
Team 2 is currently shooting down. Midbury is down, treated by Mike. I'm wounded myself as well. I'm black in ammo.
We're gonna cover you from our next position.
Alright, ceasefire, they're at the flags.
Yeah, it looks like a friggin'...
All elements, ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. Index, index, index. Condition for your weapons. Rally on the flags.
Team 2.
Team 1-2, we're rallying. Rally on the flags.
Go ahead and get yourselves back in the uniform up there and then come down in the trucks.
Mike is with us.
Copy that.
That was terrible.
It's terrifying, honestly.
It was terrifying, but yeah, but no, we did absolutely terrible.
Wait, once we got to the house, it was just the rate of fire was just incredible.
No,
not the worst I've ever seen.
We were way too close a lot of the time. We fucked
Well,
up
it was that because the one little hole is a fucking death hole. You peek your head out.
Yeah,
that was that one time when we both went down. That was shit. Yeah.
Some bandages left.
Are you bleeding?
That was the worst fucking cover, man.
Oh, do me a favor, go for it.
We should have gone behind the crane instead. We went.
I thought
behind
you told
those
me you
thin
were
ass
going
walls.
to the crane.
No,
You said you were bounding to the crane. Oh god.
Give a free check yourselves.
Lunty is good, just probably need a tiny bit of morphine.
Oscar good.
Yeah, little berry screen. I could use some morphine as well, but not necessary.
Yeah, just give me one moment. I'm just trained fish is fucking bleeding English right now.
I do that sometimes.
I would hope not.
Little bear, when you get a chance, condition your weapon.
Okay, it's conditioned. Oh, that was terrible.
And it's everyone but Tusker who wants morphine, correct?
Yeah, I'm great.
Little bear could use some morphine as well.
Hey, just curious, Fisher, how many M203s you got left?
Alright, they're all green.
1.
Alright.
Alright. How'd you guys think it went?
Could have been a lot better. Really bad.
Only one of you?
It was rough.
Only one guy has an opinion?
It was terrible. Terrible first sergeant.
I do have a comment, if I can do that right now.
Go ahead.
One thing that besides what me and Tosco's already talked about between us two, we really need to tell each other when we're covering, whenever we're bounding up. We did not do that a whole lot of the time. I mean, that's what I noticed. Like when we were moving, I heard you guys said set at one point, but I never did hear covering, so we had no idea if you guys were actually shooting down range when we were moving.
One comment from my first sergeant.
Go ahead.
What I noticed was it wasn't clear exactly when people started moving. That's why we all started at one point. I think everyone was just shooting and not moving at all. So we were basically wasting.
Ty, it doesn't matter because of the delay. Alright. Before I get into what I've seen from my perspective, Sergeant Smith, anything you would like to touch on?
Yes, First Sergeant, thank you.
Make sure you're on yelling.
Thank you, First Sergeant. Multiple times, and I know everybody's gonna say this as well, you guys are picking up from the same spot. And at times,
Jesus, now he's too goddamn
I
loud.
waited for about maybe 4 or 5 minutes for you guys to move up to the next
Yeah, maybe not.
cover. And I will launch a couple grenade rounds out there assuming that you guys moved, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if I knocked you guys out, but I'm saying my apologies for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
At you guys
We never
that close.
expect this to go well.
And good job with saying red smoke. When you threw red smoke, you called it up, but you didn't call it the second red smoke, which is why I kept watching some grenade rounds in that. When you guys pick up from the same spot and you get shot from there, the best thing you got to do is peek away from that, go to another angle, and then engage targets from that same spot. Well, not from your same spot, but from the same spot you see the target from. What you're doing is that all I'm going to do is just fix my sights on you and wait for you to peek out, and I'm just going to start spraying from the same spot. So you're going to shoot, hide behind cover, move around to a different angle, then engage. This way the target does not have a fix on you, and then you'll be able to come out there alive. That's it for me. Thank you, Sergeant. First Sergeant.
Sergeant O'Leary?
Thank you for Sergeant. Yes, a couple of key pointers. Sergeant Smith already told you your most crucial error, what you did. Yeah, picking up from the same spot, don't do that. Think of it as whack-a-mole. So, you're the mole. I'm the big bad guy with a hammer. So, if you don't want to get hit with a hammer, don't pop your head up from the same spot all over again. Alright, enough of that. Second biggest thing. Ammo conservation. You guys chewed through way
God damn it, Leary
too
trying to
much
bite my
ammunition.
style.
Way too much. And, well, it would have been understandable if you were hitting us, but you weren't. You were just blindly spraying certain areas where you thought we were. So, suppression means keeping an enemy behind cover, basically. Suppressing them, engaging them, so they can't engage you. So, in order to do that, you need to know where the enemy is. So, you wait until the target presents itself, and you start suppressing the motherfucker until he goes back behind cover. And what you do next is that you squeeze up a couple more shots, and then you stop. You simply stop. You wait for another target. There is no point in suppressing an area for a minute straight because you just think that someone might be there. That's not how we roll.
Woosah, Caldwell. Woosah.
Is one of the most important things when we're in combat. Is there is never a guarantee of resupply. So you gotta make every shot count. And I was just informed that one of you is black on 556. Who was that?
Me, Sergeant.
Congratulations, Private Fisher. You are now competent and effective, and you're dead. Alright. There was some more, but I believe First Sergeant wants to touch on those himself, so I'm not going to steal his glory. That's all from me, Top.
Alright. We're going to try and pick up the fucking pace here. Sergeant Akulov, you got anything real quick?
Thank you, Top. Real quick. Don't waste smokes by throwing them out in front of you and then not moving. If you're going to throw smoke, that means you move behind smoke. That was it for me, Top.
Alright, Mike?
Nothing for medical, First Sergeant.
Roger. Alright. So, Fisher, you're black on ammo for your M4, correct?
Yes, Sergeant. It's First Sergeant.
Now, when I came up here, Lantier, you had a cute little pistol out there. Why is that?
I am also black on AR ammo. First Sergeant.
And I'm assuming Tosco gave you his box.
Yes, I did. Yes, sir. First Sergeant.
So as we were talking about yesterday, and has already been brought up here, ammo conservation and controlling rates of fire and so on. How long do you guys think that firefight was that you were just in?
11 minutes.
A little bit longer than that.
15 minutes, First Sergeant.
How long did I tell you our operations can be?
3 hours for starter.
Up to 3 hours. You just went black on ammo in less than 15 minutes. Do you see where that could be a problem?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Especially
Yes, sir.
considering, as Sergeant O'Leary here pointed out, you weren't hitting shit. Well, that's an even bigger problem. Next. Why do I not see a green AT4 on somebody's back?
I fired it, First Sergeant.
Fired it. What type of rocket is inside that tube?
A high explosive anti-tank, First Sergeant.
I'm sorry, an anti-what?
Anti-tank, anti-armor, First Sergeant.
I want all you guys to turn around for me. Would someone please point out to me the tank that is sitting on top of that fucking hill?
There is no tank, First Sergeant.
There is no tank. Thank God, I thought I may have been going blind. Turn back around. It is called a high explosive anti-tank rocket because it is used on tanks. Not fucking bunkers. Do not ever fire an AT-4 at a fixed enemy position. Does everybody understand that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Fisher, how many 40 mic mics you got?
10 First Sergeant. In the beginning. Now 0.
I mean now.
0 First Sergeant.
0. Gentlemen that were up on the hill, did anybody get hit by a thumper round?
Negative.
Nope.
Negative.
Nope, for certain.
Might want to put in some practice with that thing.
Yes, First Sergeant.
That 320 is one of the most powerful weapons that we can carry, provided you use it correctly. It can be brought to devastating fucking effect. Again, if you use it correctly. At least you fucking used it, though. Alright. Now, most of the shit's already been pointed out as far as, smoke usage, movement, cover, so on and so forth. However, the main thing I'm going to reiterate is what Staff Sergeant O'Leary here pointed out when it comes to popping out from the same position playing whack-a-mole. Alright? If your position is already fixed, you're being engaged, it makes exactly 0 fucking sense to pop back out in the exact same goddamn position. That is some double pane glass window licking retarded style shit. Doing something like that makes me want to buy stock in fucking Windex. Stop doing it. You fire from a position once. If they start engaging your position, move to a new one. If you can't move, have someone else fire from their position. That is the entire purpose of suppressing fire. Get the enemy's head down. If you can't do it, have someone else do it. And as was pointed out, you're not suppressing the target if there's no fucking target there. So you put rounds down range until they put their head down, and then stop firing. Because otherwise you're just wasting ammunition. Wait for a new target or the same target to present itself again, and then re-engage. Everybody understand that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Anybody have any last minute comments and or questions?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Nope.
No, First Sergeant.
Alright. Normally at this point we would move on to the CQB course and teach you guys how to move through a mountain environment and how to breach and clear a building. But considering all of this took longer than the second fucking ice age, we are going to have to postpone that until day 3. So at this point you guys are going to be done for today. Next week, we are going to be back in here next weekend. Same time. Make sure you guys are fucking prepared. It is not going to get any easier. I can promise you that. But that's going to be it for today. You guys are dismissed. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That is going to be it for today. And Moneybacks, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm liking them. It's something different. Yeah, that's it for, well, not it for today, but that's it for OSUT. We're going to be doing Task Force Alpha's FTX later on this evening. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll go live for that. And hopefully you guys will be able to join me again. And thank you guys again for all the support, all you guys hanging out, watching, follows, all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you all later.